You late, you know, don't you? I know. Hey, how about the service? I pay you 14 bars or something. What it is, but if you get to bitch on time, yeah. When it's my part, I can't be in charge. Come here, put some pills in here. Come here. Yeah.
Give me some of the police.
Hey, wait, man, you ain't none of my dates. You better pay for your own shit.
Hey!
Man, what'd you do that for, man? You're crazy. Hey, oh. Don't lie now. I didn't do nothing to you.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. It was an accident.
Yeah, I already pulled his coat about it, Ernie. It won't happen again. Man, you almost got us in trouble. Ernie don't go for no shit like that.
Ernie, I don't want to do the tables no more.
Look, don't pay no attention to them guys. You just go ahead and do your work the way you're doing it. And if anybody bothers you again, come tell me.
Ernie, you promised me you was gonna let me dance.
You can dance. Take the late shift.
I can't work the late shift. I gotta be in by 11. And besides, the girls told me it wasn't too many tips on the late shift. Everybody be done spent up their money. And I gotta make more money, Ernie.
You on stuff?
On stuff?
You know what I'm talking about.
You mean dope or something? I don't want none of that mess in me.
Well, what do you need so much money for then?
I have to buy my mother something.
What, a car?
No, just something.
Girl, do you know where you're living at? Can't no colored woman make no money unless she gonna get up off some of that Johnson. You go to work in some white woman's house, you're gonna be getting up off at the truck when Ann ain't there. So you might as well treat me equal.
Oh, come on, Ernie. You watch these steps. They different. Oh, that girl just keep doing the same thing every night.
Tell Bessie to come here.
Give me my purse.
Bessie gonna be mad at you putting her on them tables. You know she don't like the tables.
Who's the boss here? Me or Bessie? Take the tables for me. I want to see something.
Tables?
You heard me. Take the tables. Go on, Mama. Show me your motion.
You recognize this man in this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, changed my life. Now, I have something for you.
Black girl, where do you think you're going to? Young girl, where is your imagination taking you? Do you think that the clouds around you are gonna let you fly? Don't you know what can happen to a black girl who sets her eyes too high? What is your program, girl? Dear Lord, if you help me get this house for my mother, I'll never ask you for anything else. Amen. Oh, girl, what is that light shining in your eyes? Hey, girl, better think twice, you know, making up a dream you can live by is hard to do. Are you sure that you can dream of something better than what's laid out for you? What are you thinking, girl?
Where do you think you're going? You better come on back in here and wash these dishes.
Wash me stuff. You ain't doing nothing.
Oh, y'all stop all that foolishness. I'll do them myself. Oh, my dear, now you need your rest. You don't need to be washing dishes behind nobody. And Billie Jean ain't doing nothing. Oh, I don't mind. Besides, Rosie wants Billie Jean to tend to her books on the weekend. What books? That old loud music that's been playing in her room the past 2 months ain't been coming out no books. Well, maybe she can study the music on. Right now. Oh, Billie Jean, now you know you didn't quit school. Done quit school? Billie Jean? You mean you've been leaving here every morning with your books like you was going to school and you ain't been going? You see? She can't say nothing because she knows it's true. My Lord, my Lord. Well, there ain't no use you throwing things around like you're mad at me. Well, what are you going to do when Rosie finds out about it? Oh, have mercy. Y'all get mad when Rosie takes on about Ned or so. But maybe the reason why she does it is because now one of y'all don't seem to want to get nothing in your own heads.
Mama! I asked you and Ruth Ann to please keep them children out of my room. Now they done broke my record.
Girl, now don't be hollering at me about them children breaking no record. They told you they didn't break the damn record.
Yeah, like they said they didn't tear the picture of that dance off my wall.
Now, Billie Jean,
The way you be kicking your legs all out when you doing that ballet dancing and stuff, you could have broke it yourself.
It ain't no ballet dancing.
Well, that's what it looked like to me.
Anyway, the record was inside the cover. Mighty funny. It just happened to be the very one I was practicing my dancing with.
Girl, them children, they can't even read. Now how they just gonna pick out some old record you was dancing to?
Maybe they had some help.
I know damn well you ain't accusing me of breaking no record.
You better not be accusing me.
Y'all got my uniform ready and everything? Oh, she could have had it ready by now, Mama. What is going on in here? Oh, she's starting some old mess about a damn record, Mama.
Mama, somebody broke the record I've been practicing my dancing with.
Girl, I don't want to hear nothing about no darn dancing. I done told you that mess you doing ain't nothing. What the devil you keep on carrying on about it for? Mama say, why don't you and Ruth Ann make Billie Jean get on with her schoolwork? Then she wouldn't have time to be popping her tail. Ain't no schoolwork to get, because Billie Jean done quit. What? Billie Jean, you mean to tell me you done quit school?
This teacher was picking on me, Mama.
What teacher, Billie Jean? And don't stand there and lie to me.
I'm not lying, Mama.
Then how come you didn't come and tell me about it? Oh, there's something else to this. And I'm going up to that school and find out what it is. She thinks she's grown, Mama. You can't tell her nothing. If I wasn't already halfway late to work, get out of my face! If it wasn't for my letter, Lord, I don't know what I'd do. And if I had just one of you to follow her example. Suzanne, hurry up with my dress.
Want to buy some Mother's Day flowers?
Oh, y'all ain't gonna never sell nothing like that. Ruth Ann out here selling Monday flowers.
Mother's Day. Oh, damn, it almost is Mother's Day, ain't it? Well, bring them up here, y'all, so I can see them. Hey, Faye, you want to buy some Mother's Day flowers? How much is they, y'all?
A quarter.
A quarter for the whole box?
No, ma'am, a quarter piece.
A quarter a piece? Lord, I almost forgot Mother's Day was right around the corner. Ruth Ann, sit here. A quarter for these little bitty things? Hey, Faye, look.
Well, look at the wild woman, will you? Girl, how you expect she can wait down here by herself? Hey, you watch it. One of these days, she's gonna walk right out in front of the car and get herself killed.
If y'all don't want to buy none of these things, say so and let these children go on. Now, don't keep picking all over. Mama, look. I don't know why they said they don't do something, but put that woman away before she hurts somebody. That's what I said. Y'all's mother make these?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you tell her they mighty little. It costs them a quarter, but we're going to help out anyway. Hey, Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann? Ain't this song? Mama, think you sure a letter didn't come from me from Netta? Mama, I am not the mailman.
And I already told you no.
All right.
Hey, this you, Netta?
Mama Rosie, is anything the matter?
Well, I guess I was a little worried.
about you. Something come to me in my dreams that I wouldn't see you no more.
Now, I done told you about those dreams.
I can't remember one yet I had about you that didn't come true. Seems like you want me to worry about you.
But, Mama Rosie, how can you say that?
Well, is it the money? You know I'll scrape up some kind of change to send you.
No, ma'am, it's not that. I got enough saved up to come.
Well, you act like you don't want to see me no more.
Oh, Mama Rosie, now you know that's not true.
Well, I didn't say nothing when you didn't come home for Christmas, and I didn't say nothing when you didn't come home for Thanksgiving. Well, I ain't gonna stand not seeing you for Mother's Day.
Well, I didn't know whether or not that you'd be up to having company, Mama Rosie.
Company? Darling, you ain't no company. This is your family and your home. There ain't no need of you staying up there in no empty college like you ain't got no home to come to. Now you come on home. You hear me?
Well, I'll write and let you know. Yes, ma'am. I promise I'll try to come.
And you let me know if you're going to fly or take a bus. And I'll have Mr. Herbert drive me to meet you.
Well, I'll know within 2 days. Okay. You take care too, Mama Rosie. Bye.
When we really, really want something,
Come on, Craig.
it's hard to wait. That's why CarMax gives you an instant online offer for your car. The way it should be. CarMax.
What y'all want?
We want some water.
How many times I gotta tell you to go through Mother's room and get water out of the bathroom? You want some water?
I don't want no toilet water.
Then drink it out of the ditch. Can you get out of here?
I'm gonna tell Big Mama.
The next time your mama leave you here with me, boy, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Mama said tell her next time you beat me.
So you tell her with your own nappy-headed self, and you better not bring your butt back in here.
Billie Jean, open up this door, child. Why don't you let these children get their water and stop scaring them all the time?
I ain't scaring them, my dear. They pass back and forth through my room all day long, and they don't be wanting nothing out of that kitchen.
Well, how do you know they don't be wanting nothing?
I know they don't be wanting nothing, my dear, and Mama's put them up to running back and forth through here.
What is this mess lately about somebody picking on you all the time? You're gonna be losing your mind locked up in this room every day like this.
That's right, my dear. I'm losing my mind. It's just my imagination that when Norm and Ruth Ann was living here, they keep their things all over this room. They can't stand to see me finally have this room to myself. But I'm losing my mind because I see through all that mess.
That's right, Miss Billie Jean. Just make a joke out of everything that I say. You know, you ain't gonna get very far disrespecting your parents and your grandparents.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, Herbert.
At least you could have knocked Mr. Herbert.
Now, you listen here, Billie Jean. I am not gonna stand for this mess. I am just not gonna stand for it.
I wasn't talking to you, my dear.
What's the trouble here?
I'm gonna tell Rosie she better do something with this child. Did you hear me, Billie Jean? Because I don't play with children.
this door, girl. Billie Jean, ain't I told you to keep this door open? Now open that other door.
Oh, Mama. Sometimes I be in here undressing. Mr. Herbert just walk in here without even knocking.
You don't be undressing all the time. You keep these doors locked, Billie Jean. And who you think you're talking to? Besides, Mr. Herbert done seen plenty kinds of whatever you trying to hide.
If Mr. Herbert was married to my dear, that would be different, Mama. But he ain't no kin to nobody in this house.
Now, that ain't none of your business, Billie Jean. As far as you're concerned, Mr. Herbert pay half the rent on this house, and he's a roomer here.
If he a roomer, how come he ain't got no room to himself?
Now, that ain't none of your business, Billie Jean. Who my mama has in her room. Now, you keep your trap shut about it, or get out and get a place of your own.
Mighty funny when Netta's mama went crazy, and she didn't have no place to stay. You opened your big heart, and you welcomed her in this house, but I gotta get out.
Because Netta's got sense enough to stay in school and get something in her head instead of her tail.
You ugly bastard!
Girl, do you want me to get a stick and beat all the black off of you? Now, you must have forgot what a good beating feel like. Now, you better snap out of whatever's on your mind. You hear me? Don't you roll your eyes at me. Now, this ain't dear you playing with. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am, Mama. I wasn't rolling my eyes at you.
And dear better not come to me no more and tell me you sassed her or Herbert, or it's gonna be woe be unto you.
Billie Jean, what did you call my baby?
He was sticking his tongue out at me.
Well, that don't give you no right to call him no bastard. A bastard is a child that ain't got no daddy, and my child got a daddy.
She's smelling her piss, that's all. And you're getting your tail out of this house tomorrow and finding yourself a job.
She already got a job, Mama.
Already got one.
Groovy Bar and Grill down in 2nd Ward.
At the Groovy Bar and Grill? Doing what?
Doing that ballet dancing.
It ain't no ballet dancing.
P-A-L-L-E-T is pallet, ain't it? Well, B-A-L-L-E-T gots to be ballet.
It ain't even that kind of dancing.
Billie Jean, have you started this mess yet?
I just worked 3 nights.
Well, how come I'm just not hearing about it?
Well, I thought she had done told you about it, Mama. It's a job. I didn't see no reason for her to be having no job unless there's something else she doing.
I was gonna tell you, Mama.
Well, you was gonna tell me.
After I got my first week's pay, I was gonna come
you
home.
ain't gonna see no week at that place, Billie Jean. Now, you know I don't approve of that dancing mess no how. And shaking your tail at the Groovy Grill of all places. Now, you know I didn't raise none of y'all like that.
And the men don't want to be looking at no ballet dancing no how. They want to see some strip tea, baby.
Billie Jean, how much is you getting for this mess?
$3 a night, Mama.
$3 a night.
But I get tips, Mama.
Tips? I don't care how many tips you get, Billie Jean. You better dip your ass over there sometime today and get what that man owes you. And I bet not ever hear of you going in no place like that again unless you got a husband to take you in one. That truant officer walking there, you out of school and under 18, you'll get carried right off to reform school. And they'll make me pay a fine.
Mama!
What?
Mama said he just drove up.
You kidding?
No, I ain't kidding. Mama, look at that. Oh, that's pretty.
I'm gonna drive it. Oh, look at this.
Mama, what is this?
Don't you tell him I'm here.
Jive ass bastard. But dear, Mr. Herbert.
Cheryl Ann and Earl, come on over here and look at your
Oh, man, this show is a pretty car.
It's gonna stay that way, too. But y'all be getting too close to it. Why don't you go play over yonder somewhere, huh?
Can I watch it for you, mister?
Ooh, y'all done learn to hustle young. Come on. Get back. Come on. See it. Hey.
Talking my language, man.
Hey, girl, come on. Lay something on me. you ain't seen nothing yet. I just didn't want to mess up these little old country boys' minds on the first day.
You're gonna let Mama's eyes pop out.
Hey, young blood.
Yeah.
Come on, watch the car.
Yeah.
Don't be letting nobody get all on it, you hear?
I won't let him get on it, mister.
All right, come on, girls, let's go.
Oh, Lord, there's my boy. How you doing? You sure look well.
Hey, dear. You sure smell good as home.
Oh.
Hey, what's going on, Herbert?
Oh, nothing, Earl. You know, same old thing, working hard.
Well, come on, give me 5.
Mr. Herbie, come dig this view.
Man, I thought you'd have been done left this time.
What I want to leave it for, if I like it.
Well, honey, you sure went and did something for yourself. I'm proud of you. But why don't you come to see us more often? Now, honey, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you are still a member of this family. Don't you pay no attention to Rosie.
Oh, you know I ain't scared of your daughter there. I'm just a mover. You know me.
Go, Earl. Oh, Lord.
Say, who's that?
Oh, this one's mine, Daddy. I named him after you.
Didn't your mama write you that you had grandchildren?
Sure she did. Because I was over to Big Mama's house the day she wrote the letter. Earl, you and Cheryl going up there to hug your grandpa's neck.
Now, look, don't you all be calling me no grandpa, you know.
And what the hell else are they supposed to call you?
Oh, Lord. Now, me and you ain't gonna get in no fights before we even say hello, is we, Rosie?
But you're driving.
Oh, Mr. Eldorado, Mama.
You bring me any money?
Now, Rosie, why can't you be nice?
How come I ain't being nice? I ain't cussed you out of nothing yet.
Girl, you ain't changed a bit.
Doing all right for yourself, ain't you, Earl?
Daddy, let me have the keys. Me and Ruth Fan want to take us a little spin.
No, not in my car, you ain't.
Oh, Daddy, come on now.
Now, get out the way, Mama. Don't be jigging your hands in my pocket.
Children, y'all give your daddy a chance to sit down and rest. He just got in the door.
And before you know it, he'll be back out the door. We won't see him again.
Wait a minute,
They
y'all.
get the money.
Wait a minute. Don't be wrinkling my suit. Don't be digging your hands in my pocket. Stretches the pants. Get back. Come on, y'all. Stretching the pants.
How do you get the money out of this then?
Well, I'll show you. Just please, come on. Get back. You know I'm going to give you all the money.
Right now.
Good Lord. You the beggingest woman I ever seen in my life. Always got your hand out.
Well, now, how else is anybody supposed to know we need something?
Oh, Daddy. Y'all, I see a 1 with 2 O's behind it.
Now give him room to breathe. Now, come on.
Oh, Lord.
Come on. Uh-oh. He got it first.
Oh. Well, let Mama hold that for you, honey, till you get on now. Y'all go outside and play. Come on.
Billie Jean, come on out and get some of this money, honey.
Now, wait a minute, Rosie. I ain't giving every nigger's kid in the neighborhood some of this money.
What
What the hell you mean every nigger's kid? I know you know who Billie Jean's daddy is. I know damn well you ain't intending to come into this house, give everybody in here some money, and ain't giving Billie Jean none.
Hell, I'm letting her wear my name. Ain't that enough?
You can have it back anytime you want it, Earl.
Well, look at that.
Billie Jean, I didn't ask you to come out here and act smart.
I'm growed up and got fine. When's the last time you seen your old no-good daddy, Billie Jean?
That chicken shit bastard, he better not bring his tail around here again.
I heard he was telling people Billie Jean wasn't none of his'n.
Up his mammy's ass with a flagpole. I ought to know who Billie Jean's daddy is. Rosie, don't. Well, what is he trying to say about me, dear?
See? When you had me, you wouldn't treat me right.
'Cause you wouldn't act right.
Wouldn't act right. Dig this girl, will you, dear? Didn't she have a roof over her head? And did these children ever want for anything?
They sure didn't want for nothing. Well, Mama, I wanted for something.
That was your trouble. You wasn't ever satisfied. You want to style big, I know. But if you had just had a little patience. Come on, Billie Jean, get your money.
No, that's all right, Earl. I don't want no money.
Girl, are you crazy? You better not be turning down no money. You don't want it. You get it and give it to me.
Lord, I always wondered what that voice was. Kept telling me, pack your things and get while the getting's good. Now I know. Two Rosies under the same roof. Herbert, you sure must have your balls together.
What the devil are you talking about?
Billie Jean got ways like you, Rosie.
Billie Jean ain't nothing like me. Now that child over there. Now she's more like me than anybody I've ever met. 'Cause she wants something out of life.
Oh, who is that?
That's my other daughter. The one you don't know about.
Oh, now, when did you have this one, Rosie? You always springing some new kid on me. Is she wearing my name too?
She's too good to wear your name.
Now, how come she's too good to wear Daddy's name, Mama?
Well, what's going on here? To my dear Mama Rosie. Mama Rosie.
You can read, can't you?
God will surely bless you for helping so many of us when we needed help.
Earl, Rosie didn't tell you, but she's done gone to keeping girls every now and then. First now, it was just one of Norm and Ruth Ann's friends that didn't have no place to stay. Now, every stray alley cat in town done found him a good thing. Dear, I don't like that.
You getting any money for this, Rosie?
I don't want no money for it.
Oh, well, let me get this straight. You mean you just gives a girl a home who ain't got no home just out of the goodness of your heart?
I love those girls like they was my own daughters.
Oh, well, Norma Faye and Ruth Ann and Billie Jean wasn't enough for you, huh?
They don't appreciate me like them other girls do.
Maybe if you would appreciate us more, Mama.
What is there to appreciate, Norma Faye? I don't see none of y'all's graduation pictures up there. You and Ruth Ann couldn't keep your dresses down.
Oh, y'all got caught, huh?
Yeah, they got caught. Way Billie Jean like to shake her tail, she's next. I don't put no faith in Norm no more. But my girl, Netta, oh, she's gonna pull me through. Do you know when she get her diploma, she gonna come back here and teach.
What is so big about a teacher, Mama? I mean, you go into some white woman's kitchen, you liable to find one working there. Now, what is the sense in spending all that time in some fancy college just to come out and work in a kitchen?
That ain't gonna happen to my Netta.
How do you know that, Mama?
I know. Because she's smart, that's why. Now, she done won all kinds of awards and scholarships, and they can't mess with you when you're smart. And the spiritualist told me that a child that was mine was gonna make me happy one day. Oh. Now, you can groan all you want, but I don't see none of y'all helping me get nothing. All Billie Jean got on her mind is that dancing mess.
Dancing?
Oh, yeah, Daddy. She do that belly dancing stuff. You know, where you kick your legs all out and you have your arms flopping around like chicken wings. You know, like the white folks do.
Is that what you want to do, Billie Jean?
It's paying her $3 a night at the Groovy Bar and Grill.
The Groovy Inn, too? You doing that kind of dancing at the Groovy Inn Second Ward, Billie Jean?
What you talking about, man? She's the star dancer.
Damn, what is them niggas drinking out there?
Oh, they just had her doing that crazy dance for fun. They were switching her to the striptease.
Yeah, well, tell me something. Even at that, $3 a night.
You get more than that picking cotton.
Damn, baby. If you want to use what your mama gave you that bad, come on back to Detroit with me. I'll show you how to get your PhD in the funky chicken. And I guarantee that'll sell when cotton won't.
Look, Earl, you know better than talk like that with dear sitting here. You respect her, and I mean that.
But there ain't no virgin.
I got enough sense to know that, Rosie. But that ain't the point. I don't care what he do out in them streets. He ain't got no business coming in here talking like that in front of none of these women.
Well, hell, everybody in here is married except Billie Jean. From what I just heard, she's sneaking and doing. She may be in motherhood this very minute. And even if she ain't yet, at least Earl will take her somewhere out of town where she won't be here disgracing his family.
Can't nobody disgrace nothing that's already a disgrace, Rosie.
Now, what the hell are you trying to say, Herbert? Now, if you don't like this family, ain't nobody holding you in it.
Hold on, Rosie. Before you say something you'd be sorry for.
And if I say it, dear, I ain't gonna be sorry, because Herbert knows I don't play that shit.
I just wouldn't let no man come in here and talk like that in front of no daughters of mine.
Look, Herbert, you skin your cat and I'll skin mine.
Hell, I was just trying to help.
I got somebody who can help me get all that I want. Now, don't you worry about it. I got Netta.
All right, Rosie. Hey, get off my car!
Oh, Daddy, come on. Mama, Daddy, fix the leave.
Wait a minute, EP. Give me a ride to work.
You gonna drive this car or you won't let me drive it?
If I'd known you was gonna be driving around here styling, I'd have took a bus.
Girl, you want me to let you out of the corner.
No kidding, EP. I want you to come by for Mother's Day, because mother-daughter might be coming home, and I want you to meet her.
Rosie, I don't want to meet no more of your daughters.
Well, you ought to want to meet her, so you can see what your own daughters didn't make out of themselves.
That bitch ain't staying in this house.
Well, how you gonna stop her, Norma Faye? You don't live here no more.
I said she wasn't staying in this house.
Well, I ain't deep, Norma.
Let me see that watch. You bet not make me late.
What you being so faithful for? You gonna get a raise or a promotion or something?
Raise or promotion, nothing. More teachers that done seen me there for years pass me by in the hall and don't even speak. That's why I want my girl Netta to teach here when she get her diploma. I'm gonna sit in on her classes when I finish my work too. Oh, EP, I know I can learn it. I watched her help Billie Jean with the schoolwork. I'm telling you, EP, she's got so much patience.
Rosie, I didn't know you wanted an education.
Yeah. I always wanted one.
Well, why don't you let me send you to night school?
I don't want it for myself no more. As long as my girl Netta gets hers, I'll have mine.
Rosie, come on. Take the day off. We go into the park and watch the ducks in the lake.
Man, is you crazy? These people seen me in this car?
No, they ain't seen you. I'll call them and tell them you don't feel well.
I know you better unjack this thing and let me out of here.
They ain't seen you. Ain't nobody seen you except the kids, and they ain't gonna say nothing.
You try to make that old devil make me do something, and I ain't gonna listen to him.
Come on, girl. Remember how I used to lift you over that fence, and then we just run like jackrabbits from one end of the field to the other.
You remember the time I outran you?
Oh, you mean the time I had that bad ankle?
Bad ankle, my foot. Every time I'd win you in something, you'd lay it on your bad ankle.
Try again. Come on. Come on. On your mark. Come on. Get set. Go! There's all right I don't know what that
Oh.
Hey, you coming back to Detroit with me, or you want me to come back here?
For what?
Oh, don't be playing crazy, Rosie. You know what I'm talking about.
Now, you don't really think I'm gonna get bit by the same dog twice?
Damn. I got an elephant on my hands. 18 years, and you still remember. And the bitch didn't even mean nothing. That's what's so killing.
Well, how did I know she didn't mean nothing?
Well, you don't see me with her, do you?
Maybe she didn't want you.
Shit, you know better than that. You wouldn't have went up there on her job and threatened to whip her ass if you thought she didn't want me.
Who told you that lie?
That's all right. I heard all about it.
Well, whoever told you is a barefaced lie. Because you ain't never seen me clowning or showing my behind in public. I got too many other ways to get even with her.
Is that what she was trying to do when you up and married Billie Jean's daddy?
Oh, now that ain't had nothing to do with getting even.
What did it have to do with then? I dare you to say you felt something for him.
I did feel something for him.
Where'd you feel it at?
Well, now, where do you think I felt it at?
Shit, Rosie, you know I'm the only man ever got next to you.
You think so, huh?
Well, if my life depended on you admitting it, I'd be a dead son of a bitch, because I know you ain't gonna admit nothing like that.
E.P., all them girls in Detroit getting along with you down here?
Well, now that you mention it, I was thinking, since you like to keep girls, I'd round up all them funky bitches and bring them down here to you. If you stop playing with me, I'll stop playing with you. Rosie. You know I ain't happy doing that stuff. I'm a one-woman man, and you know it.
What do you want with me?
You know what we had going between us, Rosie.
I ain't going for that.
What was wrong with it? You still trying to get revenge?
I never said I wanted no revenge on you.
Then what is it? I never did beat all on you or nothing like some guys do women. Never even raised my hand to you.
'Cause you know you better not pull no shit like that. That's why.
You're right. You're always right. In fact, you're so right, it seemed to me I ought to be able to come down sometime and not see you in the same rut paying rent on that matchbox of a shack where half the time you got to heat your own water before you can wash your face, or paying off some loan company where you done borrowed money for one of them kids. Hell, they got their own husbands.
Who told you I was borrowing money? Dear?
They ain't told me nothing. Rosie, what's the matter with you? I'm trying to understand you.
I bet you don't have no trouble understanding them other women you got.
And babes know what they want, Rosie.
And I know what I want, too.
What do you want that any man can give you?
If you were the man for me, you'd know that.
The man for you? The man for you, Rosie? Look, baby. You see this money? Here's $1,000 cash. Go on. Count it. I want you to see you go out and then find the man for you. And when you find that dude, I don't care where I'm at, let me know. And I'll come wherever you are. I'll not only take off my hat to that bird, I'll eat it too. This $1,000 is yours, and I'll give him 1,000. Just make sure you contact me, because I want to see that bad mother.
Well, you may lose your money and get indigestion to boot.
Rosie, you're the damnedest woman I ever met. Give me my money. If you was willing to pull with me till I got my shoe business going good, then you could have your home paid for. You wouldn't have to slave no more. But you keep on wearing yourself out, doing for somebody else. So go on. Keep on letting yourself go. And you don't even laugh like you used to.
I told you, don't be worrying about me.
This is the last time I'm coming to you, Rosie. The last time.
I didn't ask you to come this time.
Just as cool as you is, baby.
Tequila Herradura. Extraordinary awaits.
Hey there. You here? I thought you was going somewhere with Herbert tonight.
No, I didn't have to go nowhere with Herbert. He had a deacon board meeting, but I don't have to go with him.
I don't know why them deacons ain't made Herbert quit that board, living in sin with you the way he is.
Oh, Lord. I could tell the way you come through that door you was aiming to start some dirt.
Mama, I'm not trying to start no dirt. It just don't look right, you and Herbert shacking up the way you are.
Rosie, there's more folks in the church doing more than Herbert and me. Honey, and that includes the pastor, too.
What kind of example is that to set before Billie Jean?
Rosie, your girls ain't no babies, and neither is you. It's a sin for a woman as young as you to be walking around here burning. God didn't mean for us to burn like that, you know.
Oh, Herbert interpreted that Bible to you that way, just so he could get half of your bed. Smarter than I thought he was.
Yeah, but nobody else don't have to tell me that when it comes to nature. That Bible belongs on the shelf, not myself. You know, I know where you got them ideas from. Old auntie. Oh, Lord, if I'd have known leaving you with that old woman was going to make this big a fool of you, I'd have rather given you away and never seen you again.
You come pretty close to doing it as it was, Mama.
You ain't never going to forget that, is you, Rosie?
Auntie didn't let me forget it, Mama. Morning, noon, and night. If it wasn't for your mama leaving your daddy, I wouldn't be fooling with you.
No, sometimes I wish Earl would never come to this town.
Mama, what has Earl got to do with this?
Oh, Rosie. Picking on me ain't gonna wash your feelings away from him. Oh, you talking out of your head, Mama. Yeah, that's right. I'm just a dumb old woman. Talking out of my head. I don't know nothing. Oh, Rosie, even that old whale had to let Jonah out of his gut one day. Honey, whatever's holding on to you, you better give it up before it's too late. Rosie, you better give it up.
You been down our way yet?
Nope. But I'll come if you want me to.
You got anything in there for me?
You got anything for me?
You crazy.
Now, how come I gotta be crazy?
You better give me my mail from out of there before these people start gossiping.
Your sister got anything for me?
I told you crazy.
Boy, I tell you, how y'all expect for Santa Claus to bring y'all anything if you gonna act like that?
Shit.
Get a letter from your boyfriend?
And what you call me for? I want you to come go into Billie Jean's room with me. What for? Just be cool.
Do you sometimes find the fear of what could happen is making nothing happen in your life? If so,
Jean. Open the door, Jean.
Jean, you got a place to stay for next year.
What?
Because if you ain't married by next year, you can come stay with me.
Oh, I would take it, Jean, but when the baby comes, I don't know what Johnny gonna say with extra person in the house.
Well, I don't care what Melvin say.
If my people can't come there when they're out in the cold, then he don't want me there.
What y'all talking about?
Well, what do you mean, what we talking about?
I mean, what y'all talking about a place for me to stay?
Well, you know you can't sleep on that couch. Mama don't let nobody sleep on her couch.
She ain't heard yet, Norma Faye. I told you Mama hadn't told her yet.
Ain't heard what? Is some other girl coming to live here?
No, that's just it, Billie Jean. There ain't gonna be no whole lot of different girls no more. Mama said from now on, there's just gonna be one certain girl.
Mama don't never tell nobody nothing. She just go and do whatever she feel like doing, and everybody's supposed to just fall in line.
You mean to tell me, Jean, that Mama didn't tell you that when your friend get a diploma from that fancy college next year, you're gonna have to give up your room?
Give up my room? No, Mama ain't told me that. And that girl ain't none of my friends.
Well, I don't see why they both can't stay in here together. But I guess she gonna have to have the whole room. You know all them clothes teachers wear. Changing 2 and 3 times a day. Suits in the morning, casual slacks in the afternoon, and cocktail rags at night. Yeah, Jean. I'm afraid she gonna have to have the whole room.
Yeah, but the way Mama put it though, Ruth Ann, she wanted Billie Jean married and off her hands by next year. But she didn't want to see her Netta cramped up in this room with another person.
Did Mama say that?
Yeah, that's right, Billie Jean. Now why don't you go and ask her so she know we come and told you? Oh, I'm sorry I said anything.
Hey, wait a minute, Norma. I ain't gonna say nothing.
What I think, Billie Jean, is at least Mama could have told you. Yeah, and still, I don't think it's fair. Be kicked out of your room for somebody that ain't even in the family.
I ain't giving up my room to nobody.
I tried to tell you, Billie Jean, 3 years ago, when you was all friendly with her, you better watch that girl. See, I knew then Mama had plans for her to come back here and get that room. Oh, no. You wouldn't listen. Now you're being kicked out your room for her.
You think I didn't watch her, huh? You think I've been secret buddies with all these years, huh? Yeah, she come write me letters when she first left trying to sound all chummy and stuff. But I didn't even answer her. I'm tired of hearing that girl's name. Every time I turn around, Mama throwing her up to me. Why don't you follow my Netta's example? My Netta gonna be teacher this and teacher that.
Oh, have y'all ever been with Mama when she tell people, I worked at this school? I mean, what is all this bragging she doing about some old ignorant gal coming back to this hole and to spook the kids? And then trying to make Billie Jean give up her room for her.
She ain't getting my room. I'll burn it down before I see her in it.
Well, if you feel that way about her, how you gonna stand to stay in the same room with her when she come for Mother's Day?
She coming here for Mother's Day.
Next week sometime, so I heard.
I guess Mama didn't tell you that either, huh?
No, Mama ain't told me nothing.
Damn.
Oh, Ruth Ann. Now maybe Mama was gonna tell her. I mean, maybe Mama just waiting till she know definite before she tell her.
Oh, yeah. Maybe so. All Mama said was that she called and asked her to come. She won't know nothing definite till the girl write and tell her what day.
A letter coming here for Mama? Well, I know what to do with her letters when they come here for Mama.
Well, I'll be damned.
Mama ain't read them.
No, I didn't like the way she was sounding, and I'm all appreciative, you know.
I told you Billie Jean got more sense than she make out sometimes.
Gee! anybody, and I mean anybody, come to try to take over your rooms, they gonna be in for a big surprise.
Black girl, where do you think you're going to? Young girl, where is your imagination taking you? Do you think that the clouds around you are gonna let you fly? Don't you know what can happen to a black girl who sets her eyes too high? What is your program, Oh, girl, what is that light shining in your eyes? Hey, girl, better think twice, you know, making up a dream you can live by is hard to do. Are you sure you can dream of something better than what's laid out for you? What are you thinking, girl?
I bet you if it was my room she was coming to rip off, I'd need it before she even got through the door.
She might as well take her head off on the steps before she hit the front porch. Well, Gene, you know Norma Faye don't play. I mean, geez, just because we ain't got no fancy diplomas from no Harvard and none of them other highfalutin colleges do not mean we gonna let her just walk in here and walk over our sister.
That's right. Now hold it, y'all. I want this to be my party, because it's been a long time since I got funky.
Right on, sis. We all gonna get funky. Wait a minute.
Good cure.
Oh, here she come, y'all.
Do your thing, sis.
If she don't, I sure got my shit together.
Thank you so much.
Teach!
Hi, Billy.
Give me that bag, damn it. Look who's here, y'all. It's Teach. Well, get on in here and make yourself comfortable. Around here toting bags with all these heavyweight champs in the house.
Mama Rosie?
Wait a minute, Ruth Ann. It is my pull. Well, I thought you pulled already. Now, how the hell you thought I pulled already and you just trumped my card?
Go ahead on then. Sure we'll be glad when you start winning so you can stop being so grouchy.
Up there at that big fancy white college, they don't teach you how to speak to people when you come in their house, Miss Teacher?
I was waiting to see your faces.
What the hell you got to see our faces for? You know we got them.
Look, y'all, Santa Claus done come early.
Hey, you went in my suitcase.
I didn't take nothing but our presents. They is for us, ain't they, Teach? 1, 2, 3, they gots to be for us.
Well, I wanted them to be a surprise.
Well, ain't that nice? Which one's mine?
The smaller ones have perfume in them.
I'll take it. Give it here, Billie Jean.
Yes, honey, hurry up and give it to her.
Oh, go to hell, asshole.
What's in this one?
It's a book.
Oh, I know you ain't brought me no damn book.
I got the book for Billy.
What I'm gonna do with it?
Oh, you better take it, sis. One of them big words gets whipped on you. You be glad you got it.
I guess the last one's mine.
You got perfume too, sis.
Oh. Me and Ruth Ann, we stink, huh?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
The dance inside flow.
I thought it would help you with your work.
What work?
Your dancing.
I don't do that mess no more.
You don't dance anymore, Billy?
You heard her.
Did Mama Rosie go to work today?
How the hell else is she gonna feed all these stray boarders that's always popping in on her?
Yuck, sure enough.
Well, she called and asked me to come, so I wrote back and told her that I'd be arriving.
Yeah, well, mail don't go as fast here as it do in them big college towns. See?
Let me see now. Dear Mama Rosie, next Saturday, the 25th, Travisville flight number 720. Why, you sure did write a letter. Sure enough you did.
You mean Mama Rosie doesn't get her mail?
No, see, I's in charge of the inner house mail. And being that I've been so busy lately, I ain't had a chance to route this one yet.
I hope that something is coming through real clear to you, Miss Teacher.
Oh, it's clear to me why Billy never answered about that talent search and that national tour I wrote her about.
What talent search? What national tour?
Oh, telling you would be like giving you your mail. And that seems to be against the rules around here.
She's saying we stole Billie Jean's letter, sis.
Yeah. And I don't like it worth a damn.
Then how come I didn't get it?
Oh, just because she says she sent a damn letter don't mean she did.
Her mouth ain't no prayer book, Jean.
This new dance company they're forming, Billy, you have to be enrolled as a student. So I sent you an application for enrollment.
Enrollment in college?
Billie Jean didn't even finish high school. Talking about college.
You didn't finish school, Billy?
I could have finished if I'd wanted to.
I ain't talking about the coulda. I'm talking about the did.
This old teacher made me mad, that's all. She come talking about any nigga off the street can sing and dance.
Well, it can. Miss Hallie's kid down the street ain't but 8 years old, and she can do the same country-ass kicking you do.
Well, whatever you call it, Ruth Ann, it was me who taught her those movements.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, fool. If some 8-year-old kid can do it, you look like a damn fool busting up to some big-time college with something anybody can learn in kindergarten.
No, Billy, you can make that company. Just get this high school thing over with this summer, maybe.
But will they take me to that big college?
Say! Where did Billie Jean go, Ruth Ann? Search me.
Oh, what's the matter with y'all? Drunk? Here I am.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought you had done cut out on us.
Oh, think how proud Mama Rosie would be,
Look,
Billie Jean.
girl. I mean, what is all this shit about you calling my mother mama? She is not none of your goddamn mama. Your mammy lived 10 blocks from here. And if you want to call somebody mama, walk 10 fucking blocks.
Listen, Norma. I ain't never called your mother a mammy. And I don't think you should call my mother that.
Well, if you care so damn much for her, why in the hell don't you just go stay with her?
You ain't taking over Billie Jean's room.
Taking over Billy's room? Is that what you think, Billy?
Well, that's what we all think.
I'm going straight to law school next year when I finish, Billie Jean. And I'm going to be there a while. And you're coming right up there to finish your education, right?
Well, look, girl. Now, why don't you leave my sister alone? Now, she done told you she don't want to go to no white-ass college with all you sedity niggas walking around with your noses all up in the air.
But, Norma, I wouldn't get like that.
Well, go on up there then. If you so bent on it. What the hell you telling us for? You're going to have a mind of your own and listen to someone else over your own sisters.
I am listening to you all, really. I just thought, well, maybe the house mama always wanted. If I could just learn something.
Oh, Billie Jean. Now, who do you think you kidding? Now, you ain't raring to go to no college because of no school books. You ain't never even really been smart in no books. This old gal done told you how them little old white boys up there do that thing. And that's why you breaking all out in this sweat.
That ain't the reason. She ain't even said nothing about no boys.
I don't know what she waiting on.
By the way, how's them little white boys? Miss College? Being that you had a chance to get out.
I wouldn't know, Ruth Ann.
Well, I know you ain't saying you've been up there all this time and you ain't tried none of them yet.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Damn. Well, have you tried any man yet?
Being that's not what I went up there for. I don't consider it a lost cause.
Who are you saving it for? Jesus?
Girl. If you don't hurry up and get your head out them damn books and find yourself a man, you gonna go crazy.
Oh, and a funny one.
I mean, that's a disgrace. A 21-year-old grown woman still walking around here guarding the stuff like it was the First National Bank.
I always said too much of that book stuff will sure kill off a girl's feminine stuff.
And trying to drag Billie Jean into the shit. Look, let me tell you one thing, Billie Jean. I can see that she's filling your head with all this college talk. And I can tell you falling for it. Well, go ahead. But if you disgrace this family by ending up funny or something, you better change your last name. And I bet not see you around here no more.
Oh, I ain't going to no college, Norma. I'm just listening. I'm going to stay right here with you and Ruth Ann.
Oh, look, Billy, don't get us wrong. Me and Norma, we'd be proud to see you go off to college, see? Wear some nice rags. Things she's wearing. You look good and stuff like that. But what me and Norma's trying to say, Billie Jean, we want you to come back with your feminine stuff still together, see?
Yeah. Them some nice dry goods, all right.
Hey, while you over there, Norm, raise up her dress. See if she got one of them things. I always wanted to see what one of them freaks look like.
Well, you know, I think you done hit on something there, Ruth Ann.
Sure I have. Remember how she's always running hot every time one of us was about to see her naked?
Ain't this a bitch? All this time we ain't even been safe in this house.
Don't you put your hands on my clothes, Norma.
Ooh, you better watch her, sis. She is a man. She probably fights like one. Where you going? Get my things.
Where you going to stay?
Now, what the hell do you care where she gonna stay? Let her take her ass to her insane-ass mammy's house. You didn't think we knew about the lunatic-y bitch, did you? Even the insane asylum won't take her ass.
Hey, Norma, don't.
Beware bad dog, sis. She getting hefty. Come on, bitch. Come on. Come on. Fuck with the bear.
Hey, no.
Fool, if you don't get away from me, I'm gonna make another path up your ass. Now, you know better than to be pulling me back when somebody's walking up on me.
Hey, Norma. You the winner, baby. Everything is cool.
What you waiting on, tramp? Get your ass in gear before the butcher starts carving some bologna. I wanted to tee off on her so bad. I could taste it.
Tell me why. Why would you, of all people, do something like that?
I didn't have nothing to do with them talking about your mama.
Well, if you didn't get your kicks out of that, what was in it for you? You said you'd never change, Billy. But oh, have you changed.
Look, don't you be putting all that stuff on my head and be acting all surprised like you don't know what's been going on. Ever since the day you came in this house, I can't say nothing to my mama that she don't be throwing your name up to me.
I didn't know she was doing all that.
Well, you know now. I mean, how do you think I feel knowing that my mama done sit down, talk to you, and probably put her arms all around you and told you she loved you and everything?
She never did all of that. You just throwing stuff in that never happened. She never told me anything like that.
She didn't?
I swear to God she didn't.
Really?
It's not even her way.
Look, how long did it take you to put your shit in that suitcase?
It all depends how big the suitcase is.
Are you trying to play on my intelligence?
I'm trying to get out of here, Norma.
Well, hell, you done had plenty enough time to do that.
It just didn't close.
Ain't nobody asked you nothing.
Billy, did you really teach Mrs. Halley's kids how to dance? I sure wish I could teach someone how to dance.
Now, all you men that pledged to help out with the service at our Mother's Day luncheon this afternoon, if you didn't bring your aprons with you, you go on back home and get it. Now, y'all know that at every Father's Day luncheon, the women always tries to make us feel like kings. Now, don't they? Well, you brothers might as well say amen. You know I'm telling you the truth. Amen. Now, don't the sisters do right by us on Father's Day? Amen. Well, make me know it then. Amen. Some of you men out there, sitting out there, I knew when your mothers had to almost hot your underwear to get you out of trouble or something. You ought to be glad that you help us.
This is my mother.
Wouldn't be here to work for Mama. Ain't nobody gonna stand by you like Mama. Don't care what you done to her.
God bless you, honey, for bringing your mama to church this morning. She's sure been needing you. You back to stay with us for a while now?
Oh, just for a while, Sister Jenkins. You know, as long as I can.
God bless you. We're gonna keep on praying for Mama, and she'll be all right one day.
Thank you, Sister Jenkins.
That offering is mighty noisy. I can hear it way up here. And I know the Lord can hear it. Now you know the Lord don't want to count all them coins that you put in there. Amen. I'll say amen. Amen. Make sure that you put in your love offering.
Will you wait a minute till I get my change out of there? Well, if you're gonna put your tithe in, you do to put a tenth of what you make. I know you better tenth on the way from here and give me my change.
God created man, and your mother gave birth to you. So thanks to the Lord above, and thank your mother too.
Sister Jenkins, would you stay with my mother till I get back, please? I want to take those to somebody before she gets away.
Yeah, honey. Sister Foster knows me. She'll be all right. You go head on.
Mama, I'll be right back.
She showed you what's wrong and what is right. Year by year she taught you to see the guiding light. Be thankful and be grateful for what is given to you. To Lord who gave us life eternal, and thank your mother too. Day by day she showed you what's wrong and what is right. Year by year.
Something told me to look up here.
You better hurry up and get your Mother's Day surprise. A lot of jealous eyes been looking at them.
Oh, look what my sweet daughter Whitney gave you. Honey, look how nice they're wrapped. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you.
Oh, I thought it would be better if I brought my mother up here.
That's nice. Wait, tell me, how long have you been in town?
Oh, I haven't been here too long.
You mean to tell me that if I had decided not to come to church this morning, I wouldn't have even known you was here?
Thank you, Sister Jenkins. Sure you would have known. If I hadn't seen you here today, I was going to get your present to you some kind of way.
But why didn't you call me, Netta?
I was busy trying to get things together. And I was walking all over town trying to find you some flowers that weren't picked all over.
Well, I appreciate all the trouble you went through to get them, but you made me think you was going to stay with me.
Mama Rosie, you don't understand what I'm trying to do. You got plenty of people to lean on. My mother only has me. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I can't deal with all this.
Deal with what? What is it? I understand about your mother. You should have called me.
Mama Rosie, I am my mother's daughter, not yours. Now, I ran away from my mother years ago because I wasn't strong enough then. But I am going to her now. It's as simple as that.
Don't you raise your voice with me. Don't you dare raise your voice with me.
Rosie. What's wrong and what is right. Year by year she taught you to see the guiding light. Be thankful and be grateful.
Who that from?
I don't know, Mrs. Webb. You have to sign for it.
A rose is still a rose. And the Duke of Earl is still a pearl. Where's Billie Jean?
She's still in there talking to Ned.
Then go get her.
Herbert, put this on the living room table for me, darling.
Okay, dear.
More like big sisters to Billie Jean, but we thought it was just a stage that she was going through. If we don't deal with it now, it's gonna be too late. Sure will. That's the way I feel about it. I'm really afraid that Billie Jean is just gonna fool around and get herself hurt hanging around in one of them damn places.
Me too, Mama. And you work hard every day. You can't look after everything. Besides, you've done the best you could for us.
You really have, Mama. So what we got to do now is just take the time out from our own lives and just try to save Billie Jean.
Billie Jean.
Now,
I think it's time you and me had a little talk. Now, you're almost 18. You ain't got no job, no husband, or no nothing. Now, you ain't gonna hang out in them honky-tonks until some old drunk nigga comes and kills you. Because I'd rather kill you myself.
I'm not gonna hang out in no honky-tonk, Mama.
But what you gonna do, Billie Jean? You don't know, do you?
I do know.
But what is you gonna do?
I'm going up to where Ned is to finish high school, and I'm going to college.
Oh, girl, why don't you stop lying?
Billie Jean, are you crazy? Now, you're not going up there where she is. You're just not going.
Mama, I mean, if she just want to finish high school, how come she can't do it here? She just want to get off away from you and hang around in them joints with men.
That's not what I want to do.
Billie Jean, you sound like you is losing your mind.
She needs to be in a reform school, Mama, because she's going to get hurt. Do you want me to call the truant officer?
Yes.
What?
Billie Jean, where you going? Come back here.
No. You see, Mama, I told you this child is beside herself.
What's the trouble here?
Herbert, ain't nobody call you out here.
Come on, for me, Mr. Herman.
You bet not.
Ain't nobody scared of you, Rosie. You knows I ain't. Dear, you better come on in here and see about this mess.
And I know you better get your ass out of my house. I bet not catch it in here in the morning.
All the screaming in here. What's going on, Rosie?
Dear, call the truant officer.
Don't be twisting on that child like that.
Hold this shit, I'll call him myself.
gonna be calling nobody till I find out what this is all about.
Dear Billie Jean is my child.
What did she do?
All I said was that I'm going to college, my dear.
Turn her loose. I said turn her loose. Rosie, sure enough, Billie Jean is your child, but I got a feeling you're wrong.
You a lie.
You ain't never in your life called me a lie. And God's gonna whip you for that. When you're laying on your deathbed, Rosie, God's gonna whip you because I'm your mother, Rosie. I am your mother.
Dear, you don't understand what I've been through with these girls.
Rosie, you don't know nothing about nobody in this house because you're too busy trying to save strangers. If anybody just touched one of them gals off the street, you'll bring down the wrath of God. But with your own children, your own family?
Yeah, Mama, what about my own family? What kind of love did you give me to pass on?
You're gonna carry that to your grave, ain't you, Rosie? You're gonna whip me with that until it kills you or me, ain't you?
Dear, I love all of you. I did what I could for Billie Jean. Now, you know I didn't raise her for no dancing or shaking her tail in public.
God didn't make you perfect in your judgment either, Rosie. You could be wrong about Billie Jean. God knows I ain't crazy about her wanting to be no dancer either, but that's her life. Now, if she don't make nothing out of it, it will be her nothing.
My dear, you just want us to just stand around and let her ruin her life, huh?
Well, she can't do no worse with her than you done with yours. None of you. Now, Rosie, you come to your senses. There's your cab, baby.
Mama, I'm fixing to go now. I'll write you when I get there to let you know I got there all right. It takes about 8 hours or something like that. Thanksgiving is the next big holiday, Mama, and if I have the money, I'll come home.
Oh, you take care of yourself now, you hear?
I will, my dear. I'll be writing you.
And don't you stay away too long.
I won't.
Hurry up now. They charge us for waiting, you know.
Billie Jean.
Mel.
I ain't never in all my life apologized to nobody for nothing. It just ain't in me.
Yes, Mel.
But you drop your card or something and let me know how your dancing's coming on.
You hold your head up now. Stay with the Lord.
Mama, Billie Jean knows I didn't try to hurt her.
She knows that now, honey.
Just seemed like all my children were going to end up just like me. Just like me.
Brother, got to hurry, can't be late, just can't waste the time. Life is much too short and too sweet to spend just waiting in line. Sister, get it on, got to get there or get left behind. Try to catch your dream if it takes you a whole lifetime. It's together, just a matter of time. We can make it. Oh, sister, got to hurry. Can't be late. Can't waste the time. Brother, life is much too short. Get it on. And much too sweet. Got to get there. Got to catch your dream. Or be left behind. Get left behind. Sister, got to hurry. Can't be late. Just can't waste the time. Life is much too short and too sweet to spend just waiting in line. Brother, get it on. Got to get there or get left behind. Try to catch your dream if it takes you a whole lifetime. It's together, just a matter of time. We can make it. Up to you, already then. What you do, already then. Don't you know? Up to you, already then. What you do, already then. Don't you know? Up to you, already then. What you do.
That's crazy. When I say this movie, it just did something to me. I missed most of it. I probably saw the last quarter of the movie, guys. So what I'm commenting on is just my perspective of the ending. I came in on the part where the lady and the daughter and the guy was at the I think it was a baseball field or either a park, and he was offering her $1,000 or something is all I heard. He said, I'll give you this $1,000 if you find a man better than me. I'll give him $1,000. Just introduce me. So I don't know what was going on before that. I'm assuming there must have been some type of relationship with them. Maybe she, visited with different guys. She don't want to commit to nobody because she don't trust men or something. So maybe here's one good guy that came along that she been messing with, wanted to commit. She didn't believe him. I don't know. I'm feeling that, but either way, I think that it's just crazy how they made everything look as far as like the perspective of a black household in general. The mother, the grandmother, the kids, everybody having to stay together, which that's okay. I'm gonna say the second part of that it just depends on what they're doing or building in the household. But when they're struggling, everything's on the one person trying to make it. And, it's like nobody's doing anything. The kid's not doing anything. The one girl pregnant, the other girl, I don't know, she just be in the streets like her mom, trying to be like her mom. I don't know if her mom was in the streets. I didn't actually see that, but it looked like she maybe worked and, do some stuff on the side. There's another thing, it seemed like maybe she possibly worked a lot and didn't really have time for anything. Maybe that's why she couldn't trust with the guy. I don't know. I can get some other perspective on that. But from what I saw, the terraforming of the family structure and the areas, I mean, I literally never saw neighborhoods that they just really look like they did in these movies. I mean, there are neighborhoods that look like this, but for them to portray all the black neighborhoods, when I think about like Superfly, and I can't remember all the movies, but these old movies that when we were kids we used to watch, and they all look like that. This one movie I used to love was about the lady stayed in the projects, and she had a guy that was like this garbage truck driver or something. He came and took her and her. I think she had like 10 kids or 8 kids, or that was a movie that everybody used to watch. I can't remember the name of it, but these movies always used to look like that. And I didn't think of about it then, because you're watching it and you're thinking, okay, it's a movie. But they were literally putting it in your mind that this is the way these are the lifestyles, or this is the areas that all black people live in, because all of those movies kind of look like this. Now that I think about it, I never saw this movie before, so it's a little new to me, but they all look kind of the same. So it reminded me of Sparkle. I love Sparkle only because I used to sing, and the music in there. But Sparkle, Sparkle was one of my favorites, and it was the same thing, ghetto hood, just nothing really too positive. Wow, it's just sad to think that this is what was put in our heads to say, this is what's expected, a struggle, always broke, everybody hood. You go to school, get an education, and you're considered to be an outcaster because you're thinking you got your nose in the air, and which we know about school now doesn't mean so much, but it does when you're looking at the perspective of education and saying that this is all that is a value of a black person. This is the way I see it. I don't know. It's a lot going through my mind. I wish I would have saw the whole movie to give a little more perspective, but that's kind of what I'm feeling about it.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, Sister Soul. What's going on with you?
What's up, bro? What's going on with you?
It's cold chilling.
I wish I would have seen it from the beginning. I came in, I thought it was just a live, like a panel, open panel. I said, oh, somebody live. I've been running around all day, so I was like, oh, okay, I can get up here and chat. I've looked, I was like, oh, it's a movie night. Okay. So I'm looking like, oh, I'm thinking it was like the beginning, and I
Oh,
I
nah.
done missed all of it almost.
Oh, yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head, though. That's what it was all about, though, for the most part. The showing, it's one of those black exploitation movies, actually. So if anybody want to check them out, you know what I mean? Y'all go check them out. You'll learn a lot of game. For real.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking like the house, even the household structure, the outside, the neighborhood, the church scene. I mean, all that. I'm just looking like, wow, this is crazy. And you didn't think about it back then, when you used to watch it, because all those movies all look the same. But in the mindset, you're not thinking like, oh, this is not how I'm living, or my life's not like this, or I don't see this, or you know what I'm saying? That's what's crazy. You didn't even think about that then.
That's right. Everything is psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they did all that to shape the minds of Americans. You know what I mean? Even us, especially. To make us think that this is how it goes.
Yes. And look, this what y'all deserve. This is how y'all neighborhoods are supposed to look. Don't expect it to look any better than this. Don't think it should be any better than this. Think that this is the norm. This is the way it goes. This is the way it should be. Don't look for anything better. Yeah, it put all that in the mind. It's just crazy. I'm just while I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, I never really looked at these movies, but this is looking crazy.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Even to the mom, the sisters, that's not what usually happens in the black family. If two sisters doing bad, man, they pushing the other sister to do good because it's like, go on, girl, do something. Shoot, you might be able to look out for me. Even if it's that aspect. It's the encouragement. It's it's some kind of love. We don't have that type of hatred. That was another thing I didn't like. It was like they was showing so many different forms of the jealousy and hatred, which there is some of that, but to the extent that they were doing the girl pulling a knife on her and, all this just because of what y'all mad because your mom may be showing her a little love or, oh, she's taking up more space because nobody's doing nothing, this, and that. So, oh, y'all jealous because she went to school. Now she thinks she's something because y'all didn't go. They hiding the letters from the sister so she couldn't make nothing of herself. And I mean, just the depth of how the hatred and jealousy was crazy, and that's not normal. That's not typical in our household. So that was crazy too when I looked at the perspective of all that.
And even how they try to make it seem like it's bad to have an education and stuff like that. How they was doing that one girl, right?
Right. Oh, you got your nose up in the air, and you this. Oh, look at her. Oh, I know you went. And you was with them white. Oh, you went to college, so you got to be with a white boy now. That was another thing. Oh yeah, what them white boys do? Yeah, I know you. You checked one of my what?
Ain't that something? Because actually it made it seem like they really wanted to know, like what was up with them. You know what I mean?
Right. Did you see? It was a real curiosity. Like it was like the way they said it was like a white boy would be with a black girl. Oh, you been with a black girl? I can imagine. You been with a black girl? If they were sitting around their homeboys, like the thrill of their life type thing. You know what I'm saying? They were saying it like that. Like, you checked out one of them white boys? Oh my gosh. It was crazy. I'm looking like, what? What the heck is this? Just the total crazy psychology. Like, what? We would never think like that. I mean, even if a black girl is attracted to a white guy, that's just that. They don't be all. It's not no freakish all excitement and all them the curiosity and we. I'm sorry, but we don't get curiosity like that. I mean, if a chick might have met somebody and they got attracted to somebody of a different race, with women, that's just how that happened. It don't have nothing to do with um that I don't know. The whole thing was just weird. All of it. Just that last part was very troubling and just it was just disgusting to me. Just looking at it, it really was.
They
You
got a
know,
lot of them out there too.
I was thinking about because when all I could think about was like the Superfly, Shaft,
Exactly.
um, and those were more of the street. Oh, this man could be he need to be a pimp and a drug dealer and all these something dirty, a street runner or it's always it
That's
was
right.
always those things.
Because even that psychologized the minds of men back then. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
hopefully I will show more of those too. So some of those as well. I mean, and yeah, it's going. That's where you get all the dogs, or whatever, all the cheetahs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The man
Yes.
having all the money, even that representation of the man having the money. I don't know if you caught that part or not. Did you
Right.
see that
Oh, I'm
part?
sorry. I'm
Exactly.
glad you brought that up, but real quick, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Tell me just a quick dialogue of what was going on with her and the guy. Was this like some John she was tricking with, an old boyfriend? What was the role of this
Yeah,
dude?
that was her old husband. That was her baby daddy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh,
So those kids, those were his kids, except for the black girl. You know what I mean? That was I guess that was another man she had child. You know what I mean?
oh, so they've been broke up for a while. He just coming back around and he was trying to get back
Exactly.
with her and she didn't want to get back with him.
That's right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So basically, he was saying that she should have hung around and all that there, and she could have hit a lick basically for the most part. But how they was trying to paint it seemed like he was a pimp in Detroit. You know what I mean? So he had them girls, and she was always looking out for girls and stuff like that. So he was trying to finesse her to get her to bring the girl from Detroit down that way. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Oh, trying to get her to bring the daughter so he could start pimping them.
Well, yeah, he had alluded to that because of the dancing thing, but he did suggest bringing the girls from Detroit down that way. You know what I mean? Down to where she was at, since she like taking care of the girls. So maybe she could
Right.
straighten them up. You know what I'm saying? Type thing.
Oh, so she was in Detroit. The girls was there with the mother, and then she just came back around or something.
Oh, nah, that's just where he stayed at now. I guess whatever he was doing or whatever, because obviously they hadn't saw him in a while, so he just came back through. You know how your dad just pull up out of nowhere. Yeah, oh, you know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying? And
So
he's
none of them
stunting.
had seen him for a while. He just came back around, popped up,
That's
talking to
right.
her, trying to con her, get her. Okay, so she did the right thing.
That's
I
right.
was thinking like, she's standing there looking like, I'm like, what the heck happened? What, I missed it, but
And
yeah,
then
that
they
was
trying to still show too at the same time. Uh, uh, Headstrong black women and stuff like that. You know what I mean? How they can overlook their opportunities and stuff like that as well. You know, even though he was pretty much up to no good, but you could just see that
But
it was all about
I
getting
thought
money.
he was saying something. Wait, maybe I didn't hear it. When I first came in, he was saying something about the business. He had a plumbing business, and it sounded like he was a working man. Like,
Yeah, you
you,
probably got all kind of things going on. You know what I'm saying? But that's the picture that they painting though. You know that the black men they was getting money and stuff like that. It was all about the money. It wasn't about nothing else. No family, no nothing. About getting that check for the most part. As long as I'm paying the bills, I should be able to do what I want to do. Type of stuff.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's how my
All that.
mama left my daddy. So
That's
he want
right.
to do what he want to do. She was like, buddy, that's a wrap for that.
And that what the pimp movie was all the pimp movies. That's what they were all about, right? Same thing.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Wherever I leave my hat, that's his home. Wherever he leave his hat, that's his home. Stuff like that.
right,
You know, putting that Met game down, what they call it. Had everybody going from pillar to post, so to speak. You know.
right, right. My uncle had my brother like that. My uncle literally was a pimp in Chicago, but his whole life he never had a job in his life. All he did was pimp women out, and
And he
drink.
was
That's
probably
all he
born
did.
around that time too.
Yep, yep. And he had my brother really like kind of like doing stuff he had no business. We would sneak off. My brother and sister was older than me, so they'd ditch school. Come on, we going to Uncle George's house. I'm like, okay, I'm just following behind them. I'm 11, 12 years old. They going over there, so, I'm following them. And my brother started trying to, be like him because he wanted to have money and not do nothing, sit around, chill all day, do what he wanted to do, gamble, do whatever. I mean, that's what my brother thought was cool, I guess. And my mom didn't even want us around him, so we would like sneak to go see him. So this is how they got to see him. And that's why we didn't, we was like, why she don't want us around her? When my grandmother passed, we started sneaking around to see him. And yeah,
Straight
he
up.
was a very bad influence on my brother. My brother had two babies at 16 years old. Um, he just, he was a hot mess. My mom ended up straightening him out. He ended up going to the Navy when he got out of high school and stuff and trying to change himself around. But man, she went through a lot with him. And it was only from the influence that she tried to keep him away from. And it's crazy thinking about that when I'm looking at this movie, just to put in the mindset and seeing things. And my brother wanted to be a part of that type of lifestyle. He was in gangs, all kind of stuff, just because he seen my uncle out there like that.
Straight up.
It's easy to pick up, bad traits, even if come from a good family and stuff. Like some of these kids that even come from good families, they be like, oh, how this kid turned out like that? Well, it all depend on what they're looking at, things they see, even these video games and stuff. You be looking at these video games, it's like, oh no.
And entertainment is everything though. That
Yep.
influences all minds. Like for real, it really does.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can really, really look back at it and see whatever was going on in entertainment, from movies to music, whatever it is. The masses assimilated toward with it. That
Even
is a
back
culture.
then.
Exactly,
Hmm. That's the
exactly.
whole pixelation, the telekinesis, the all that Egyptology and all those different things play into all that astrological stuff as well, play into that telekinesis and that all this like computer age, AI, all of this stuff. It's all combined, man. It's just so crazy how we just we be just trying to figure it out, and it's like, man, it's just a whole lot. I get so annoyed sometimes just even thinking about stuff.
There's a saying, sister. So
Hmm.
worrying ain't gonna do you no good.
Right.
You
It's
already
true.
know, right?
Yeah. And then it's like the idle mind. Like when I'm not doing something, say if I have a minute to rest or relax, I'm like, I should be doing something. Maybe I need to be reading something, studying on something. It's like I don't have. It seems like I can't.
Can't rest that brain, huh?
I can't even take a break. Really, you're
But
right.
taking a break
Exactly.
because of reward, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So that
Right.
means you believe you should reward yourself, right?
True.
There you go. So first chance you get, you already know what to do. Hey, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna shut it down. I don't care what's going on. I'm about to shut it down. I'm gonna do my thing.
Look, you ain't lying because you know what? Even if you don't think you're gonna do it, something gonna make you do it. In the format of what's supposed to happen is going to happen. So today, I literally today I said, you know what? I got recently bought some books on some things I wanted to look into or study more about some stuff actually.
Mhm.
So I went out, I had got the books, right? So I said, oh, I was so excited. I said, well, today I'm gonna get into at least two of them, look at some of the stuff, boom, boom, boom. So I had it all set up. I got my books out. I had found a new notebook that I hadn't used because I be having so much stuff in these books. So I said, let me get a new book. So I got the the new notebook. So I'm searching through stuff. Found my notebook. Took me time because I got some stuff still packed up or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So, bro, I get down. I sat, got my stuff ready. I said, okay. I'm sitting on the bed. My cousin called. What you doing, cuz? You want to go to the farmer's market? I was like, dang, I do want to go to the market. I went to this store. I ain't really like they veggies here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get up and go. I said, okay. So I jumped up. As soon as I went with her, we was running here, running there. Get back home. Next thing you know, my daughter called, Mommy, you want to come with me? I'm like, should I go? I was gonna check out the. I said, you know what? Let me just go and go. I literally was like running all day. I had time to like do a bunch of stuff. I went to the store. I bought some the probably stuff I need to buy. I'm always buying something. I see, ooh, I like this. But that was a little fun for me, to do a little shopping. So I went to the stores, a couple of places with my cousin, ended up buying some things, and it felt good, just to not be thinking about stuff. And I was like, oh, saw stuff I like and picking through things, we don't know you a guy, but you don't know about the shopping, and how to do thrills for you. But yeah, did a load of that. So yeah, I did have some rejuvenation today. That was it just came out of nowhere, and I needed it.
That's right. That's good. Rejuvenation is always good.
Yes, yes. It's been quiet pretty much today, huh? I looked up there. I'm thinking I was gonna see all kind of lives I done missed, and I seen one Huey must have did early this morning. I say ain't nobody go live today. Everybody been doing stuff today. Oh, the holiday coming up too. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, with 4th of July, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people be celebrating that lie.
Yeah, the 4th of July.
They love to celebrate it. But I guess because it's they be having off work or whatever. It's like, oh, it's a free day of work. Might as well do something with the family. But yeah, we be knowing. But that's probably what a lot of people probably doing stuff and having a family and all that kind of stuff.
And
But yeah,
everything is astrological in one way or another. I forget what it was, but it got something to do with something astrological.
what you talking about?
4th of July.
Mm,
Mm.
I wonder what. 4th of July is what Leo. What does that have to do with like the stars? What is Leo, the lion? I don't know. I don't really believe all that stuff though with the like the Leo. I say that like, oh, I'm a Virgo. Because people say the signs, but I really I don't believe in all that stuff.
No, I don't either.
You don't need it, yeah, I don't
I
believe in
I
all
hear
that.
echo too, so I don't know what it means.
You know, you'll say it because we used to doing it since we was kids. Be like, oh, I'm a Virgo.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You
Somebody
got
asks,
an
what's
echo
your
going,
sign?
sister. I hear myself. I hear echo. I think. Well, I don't hear it no more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, you know how people, when you're a kid, you know, you so used to saying it. So now, you know, obviously we just say it because people be wanting, oh, your birthday or what's your sign or this, and that. It's like, oh, brother, that's just like annoying. That's like somebody I know. This girl, she married a girl, right?
Yeah. You know how I see it with
So,
the signs and stuff. Like, oh my bad. I didn't know you were still talking. I'm
oh
sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, no. I was just gonna say real quick. She married a girl, and the girl prefers to be referred to as a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I don't know how I feel about that because in a way I'm like that's like making me like lie. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel like I'm saying something that's not true, and you're making me say that because that's what makes you comfortable. Is that a weird subject? But I don't know. It just came out the blue.
Repeat it again. Repeat that part again, sister.
Okay, check it out. So a person, right, having a partner, and their partner prefers to be referred to as a he instead of a she, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with me, for some reason, and I don't even know why, you know, because you know whatever person do, that's their business. I'm not judgmental, but for me, for some reason, it makes me feel uncomfortable to prefer to the person or to refer to the person a as a he when I know it's a she. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes me feel like I'm lying. Oh, let me feed into this pretend thing with you. Let me lie with you. Let me, you know, act like this is real when it's not true. Or, you know, it's like I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it, but to me that feels like I'm lying. You
That's
know?
right.
That's not weird for me, you know, and that's literally not being judgmental, right? I mean, because I'm
Ain't
thinking like,
nothing weird
am I
about it.
being
You know what I mean?
judgmental?
I think that's righteous. You know, and you understand me? I ain't gonna be able to do it. So like pretend, play stupid. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Okay,
Hey,
okay,
what's up, bro? What's going on? You can be just as faggoty as you want to be. I'm calling you a brother. I'm calling you a dude. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that.
right, okay, because I'm like, you know, you want to respect people or whatever, but I'm like, how far is a boundary, right? When it comes to respecting another person versus respecting your values or your beliefs or what you feel or you know what I'm saying? I know this ain't what we were talking about earlier, bro, but this has been on my mind.
It's all
But
good.
you know, like when it comes to the boundaries that we have of people, you know, you know we deal with this all the time on like the YouTube things and certain things. So like, well, how far is a you know, like with that, and that's something that's been bugging me. Where somebody else probably wouldn't care. I'll just do it because that's what they want you to do, or you know, this and that. But I'm like, I can't. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. I even tried it. You know, like just to try to make the person. I said no, I can't. I just can't.
Nah, ain't no limit to truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just
You
can't
know,
do it.
you'll be the fool to act like you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna play with you. I ain't gonna pretend. You know what I mean? You gonna get mad at me for calling you a dude, and you know that what your mama had. You know that's your
Right,
goddamn problem. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta deal with that. You know, but I ain't finna, you know what I'm saying, play
right.
stupid with you. Same thing with
Yeah,
the females. I'm gonna call them a female. Say me this and that. I know you're trying to be a boy, but I'm gonna keep it one K with you. I don't know no other way, you know.
right. Exactly that. 'Cause yeah, I can't do that.
I
That's
ain't never had nobody say nothing to me about it though, sister. Neither. Hey man, don't call me no dude. Call me a female. You know, they ain't never came to me like that. You know what I mean? Or call me a dude. Don't call me no girl. You know what I'm
yo,
saying?
they literally listen, check this out. They literally brought the conversation to me before I even met the person. Literally made sure that I knew that this was important to the person, made sure that I knew that you know, the person is, you know, prefers to be referred as and all this other stuff. I'm looking like, well, damn. What kind of when you know, so at first I was thinking like, okay, well damn, I said, well, you know, I feel this way. I said, am I being judgmental? So I started questioning myself, am I being judgmental because I feel like this? Because I said, I don't think I could do that.
Mm-mm.
So it was like I don't know, this the battle. And so now what I do is just not say, you know, try to find ways to say, you know, when in a conversation, like she might be saying, oh, he, or something, then, I'm trying to say something in response, and I'm like, oh, gosh, I got to find a way to say it so I ain't got to say he, or,
That's right.
all this, just too much damn thinking in the conversation. On top of it, I mean, now that I think of it,
That's right. Big dog Philly in the building. What's the business?
Philly OG.
Oh yeah, we can't hear you. I saw you unmute, but I can't hear you if you're talking, bro. For some reason, can't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you're bogging out a little bit though.
Looks like he went out.
Yeah, you probably about to hop back on and try it again.
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
What made that pop in your mind?
A couple things, a lot of stuff that's been going on with different people within like the YouTube, a lot of people I've been dealing with within my personal, a lot of people I've been dealing with within my professional, and it just seems like there's been so many boundaries crossed everywhere I'm looking. I'm like, well, damn, can I catch a break? And I really can't, but yeah. I don't know. I think that's probably why. So, it's kind of bugging my mind. I think that's why I needed a free day today, too, to relax.
I'm gonna have you to repeat that too, so I want to make sure Philly mic working. You mic working, Philly?
What the heck?
Yeah, for some reason they ain't letting them come on there. That's crazy. It seems like you're trying to do something, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why it ain't working. Try to move you, put you back in. Try it now, Philly. Nope,
Really?
still ain't
It's some
working for you.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what it is, Philly. See, run that by me one more time, so what you had said again?
What was I saying, bro? I don't even remember now.
You
I
were saying,
probably
because you had
rambling.
said you mentioned boundaries, and then you ran off about boundaries, and you were saying maybe something. You know what I'm saying? What you said
What?
after the boundaries? What was the boundary? What made you think about boundaries? That what I asked you. You ran off or something.
I was saying that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, man. I get you.
Okay, I was
I
saying
don't know
that.
why they playing with Big Dog Philly.
Yeah, let's see if he come in.
I can see you. Yeah, I can hear you a little bit now. Say something else, Philly.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's
Goodness
happening? What's the
gracious.
deal? God damn, they were trying to block you, man. You must got something to say. Yeah, we can still hear you. What's on your mind, Philly? Yeah, I think you're going in and out, bro. What you were saying, though, sister?
Well, I was I was saying like it's been a lot of boundaries crossed, around me in like certain areas. The YouTube, the personally, certain people, professionally, certain people, and it's like I
Was
can't
that
catch a
you're
break.
crossing boundaries? You saying you crossing boundaries, or
No, other people crossing
other people
boundaries.
crossing your boundaries? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like it's annoying. Like I can't catch a break sometimes. I got into it again with that chick Beach on Cook Channel the other day.
Yeah, I guess that's how it is with people sometimes. You know what I mean? You gonna have situations where you might bump heads, but and at the end of the day, it's all about how you respond to all things. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened, but I'm just saying, like like when you say cross boundaries, right? It, the only way a person can cross your boundaries if you allow them to,
Right.
and that just bottom line. So right, whether right or wrong, it's just like if a person crossed your boundaries, you allow them.
Right. What I should have did what I've been trying to do lately is got my ass right off, hopped off that shit, and I didn't. But that's what I'm saying though, because it's been so many boundaries crossed around me. especially more so recently in the last few months. I'm kind of like to a boiling point with it. I'm just so like tired and fed up with it all
You
the way
know what?
around. It's
I'm
not about
bowling.
the YouTube
I'm
though.
sorry.
It's just about yeah,
Just like period. I know what you're saying. Just
yeah.
you
You
just
know what
like
I'm
you
saying?
said, things
So
just coming from left and right.
overwhelmed. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? And you don't really know how to deal with it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little too optimistic, but I already know where my insanity can take me. So like to me, it don't benefit me to think about, the worst of things or or negative stuff. It don't work good for me. You know what I mean? Because you know how the saying is hurt people hurt people. That's the
Right.
only thing that can come out of that. You know. So like what I try to do and practice on doing is transmuting my negative energy into something positive. You know what I mean? Even if you do get into the battle, it's gonna be a righteous battle. You see what I'm saying? Like I had to be all the way right. You know what I mean? For me to kind of like spaz a little bit, it's like, hey, I'm dead right. You know what I mean? And here it is. You know what I mean? But even that,
No, it don't even be that. It be the point of doing certain things or being in certain places or putting yourself in certain places. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all the above, sister.
you
So
know,
that's another way of you saying transmuting it, right? So even though so using your example, that's a way of you can of you knowing how to transmute your energy. Like you said, if I get into a situation, typically I will get off or whatever the case, right? That's another form of alchemy. You know what I mean? That may not work for somebody else. Somebody else might want to still talk it out or want to do this, do that. Some people just shut down. Some people, you know what I mean, got different ways of dealing with their anxieties or their angers or whatever the case. Some people hit people. Some people hurt, shoot people. Some people just ignore you. Some people is, it ought to be, of course,
right, right.
the list goes on and on. So it just find what works for you at the end of the day. And you know how they say, I can hear you real good now, Philly. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
I like to step in the boxing ring.
Oh yeah, you getting that choke on, baby. Oh yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Let that aroma come through. Mm-hmm. Talk to him, Philly. What's on your mind, wise man?
You there, Philly?
Yeah, I put a link in the chat. I said I put a link in the chat.
Okay.
I want people to watch.
Okay.
And it's exposing everything they've been. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
They've been exposing everything they've been doing the last 60, 70 years. The eugenics, the vaccines, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want people to, click that link and look at it and pass that in.
You went out again, Philly. You muted yourself. You muted yourself, bro. You said pay that information, you said, huh? Yeah, they doing you bad.
Yeah, that's
Ain't
some
never
important information about what they've been doing with our kids with the vaccines. He covered the
So you talking about the video with Dr.
covered
Allen,
everything
the white doctor?
and how it was planned. None of this shit wasn't by coincidence. It all was planned.
So what?
Yes,
Give us
ma'am.
a little, give us a little
I
details
put
on
it
it,
in the
Philly.
link. I
Yeah, y'all
put
make
it
sure
in
y'all
the
go check that
chat.
link out, man. Y'all
Send it
go
on
check
to
out
their
that link.
family members.
Y'all
That's all.
already know
Much
Big
respect.
Dog Philly don't show too much. You know what I mean? Don't share too much.
YouTube
So
link.
hey, he put that link out there. Must be kind of important. Must be very important actually. Not kind of. So make sure
Yes.
y'all go check it out, man. For real, for real. So tell us a little bit more about it, though, Philly. What was in it?
Basically, it covers. It talks about how they was using vaccines. It talks about the Tahili experiment. It talks about how the CDC been covering up with the vaccines, the food, the water. He touched on like 8 different points, and it's all about a war against us. You know,
You talking about that doctor, that white Dr. Allen, he like in hiding or something right now. He just had a video resurfaced from a couple of years ago that they deleted and been taken off YouTube every time he posted. It's a white guy, kind of gray hair.
yes, ma'am.
Dr. Allen something or
Yep,
Alex
I put the
Mc
link in it.
Oh yeah,
If you
that's
ain't
you ain't lying.
doing
That
nothing,
video hit on everything. You ain't lying. Y'all better watch that and y'all better share it for real, for real. If you know anything about any of these people that keep being indoctrinated
everything.
crazy, they can see the proof. If they don't believe nobody else, they gonna believe a white man. Let me say this. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And when they see a white doctor telling something that's
Yeah, he
somebody
touched
against black people, that's what's gonna make people believe it.
every aspect of medicine, the what it affects the children, everything, and it's everything I've been pointing out. You know what I mean? It talks about how the food, how they plant all the GMOs in the
Mhm.
food, the sterilizers. It breaks all of that down.
What didn't I just tell you about that last week, Philly though? Real
Yes,
talk. I
ma'am.
literally and listen, you know what's crazy, Philly?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the reason I knew to tell y'all about that is because that same dude, the vid that's why I knew just what you was talking about. That same video he put out, right? When I seen that video some years back, I was like, what the heck? I started looking into the Flint video, the Flint water thing. They did a whole documentary on it, and I got all that information on that. And everything he talked about in there confirmed that. And that's what made me look into what happened and when did the GMOs start. Remember, I was telling you that
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
allergies and all that from the gym. Once I seen that video from that sparked so much stuff that I found out behind that. When I say that man is so blessed, man, all I can say is I'm so glad he made that video because it gave me a lot of information. Because
Yeah,
I seen from
my
yo, go
sister
ahead, bro. I'm
sent it
sorry.
to me and told me to watch it. I sat down and watched that, John.
Yeah,
It almost made me want to fucking cry.
it
Mm.
make you want to cry.
Well,
It's so
hey, you
sad
made me
how
want to
they
pull
do
that
it.
video up right now. That's what you made me
Yeah,
Hey,
let's
want to
play
do.
it. Play it now, bro,
hey,
so
let's
people can
play
see
that,
some of it.
I
John.
don't
Let's
even
do
know how
that.
to. Hey, say, give me
You
the
got the
title.
link.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? Well, you got to put it in the bike check. Chat. I got to copy that motherfucker.
Oh
So hold
yeah,
on.
put it in the back chat. Put it in the back chat, Leo, so he could just click on it and he could add it to the stream, bro.
I got you. Give me 1 minute. Let me do it. 1 minute.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Shit,
He breaks it, and he in
y'all
90. He
promoting
can't even
y'all promoting the hell out of that motherfucker. Gotta watch that
listen.
bitch.
You know how I told you I like once I see something right, and then I'll look deeper and deeper and deeper into it. I'm telling you, when I seen the video, I was like, damn, I already knew he was confirming everything I knew, but he was showing a
It's
little more
there.
facts. Oh, go
It's
ahead,
in the
let's play
back
it.
chat.
So whatever. Hold on. Let me try to figure this out right quick. Hold on. Copy.
Yes, he is. Oh, that video is so disturbing because that's the video that made me say, why the hell we cannot sue the Department of Justice, the government, it should be a way to sue them for all of this shit because it's proof of all these things. There's no way to deny. There's no way they can dispose of the information. When it comes to the vaccine, they do got the federal court, then they got the secret federal court that you go to where they don't pay people out, but they don't want people to know. But we should be able to do something about it because it's too much proof of everything of the genocide. Who
Exactly.
need reparation? Who needs reparations when we need to be paid and we suing you bitches for everything y'all done did all our life? I'm sorry I didn't say it like that, but yeah, that's what it is. That's how I feel anyway.
Bro. I'm going and run it right quick.
Run that sucker.
A think tank in the UK says too many kids are what's making the planet worse.
In many black communities, for every child actually born, 3 others are aborted, more than double the rate
Y'all can
among
hear, right?
whites. Some say abortion is the
Yep.
#1 killer in the black community.
African Americans here in this country are the only ethnic group in any place on the globe that's not replacing themselves. This is genocide.
Hillary Clinton received the Margaret Sanger Award
This is a woman who started an organization called Planned Parenthood, and that woman called Black people human weeds.
An organization whose founder believed in eugenics.
The goal, to rid the country of the feeble-minded, defectives.
States in the United States refusing to compensate victims who were forcibly sterilized because they were deemed unfit to reproduce.
If they could keep certain segments of the population from reproducing, that all the world's problems would disappear. And so
we have spent the past few weeks calling and emailing politicians in California, and the silence has been astonishing.
I'll give you a little bit of information about my background soon, so you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm taking the steps to go public with this information. The truth is, there is a concerted, organized, long-standing effort to eliminate African Americans from the human gene pool. Not just African Americans, by the way, but Africans. This is happening right now. You are being subjected to it. It's happening through multiple vectors of science, medicine, and food that I will detail here in this talk. And it's all being done covertly. So almost no one is aware of this. The entire mainstream media refuses to acknowledge this. The scientific community will say that none of this is true. And yet, if you look at the facts that I'm going to share with you and the history that's undeniable, you will see there is a concerted, organized effort to eliminate blacks, i.e. African Americans. I'm going to use those terms interchangeably just for brevity here. But there is an effort to eliminate those people from the human gene pool. My background, just so you know, my name is Mike Adams. I'm known as the Health Ranger. I am a lab science director. I founded and built a world-class analytical laboratory from scratch. It is ISO accredited. It's recognized around the world for analytical science of heavy metals and food contamination, environmental contamination, and so on. We've done volunteer work, testing over 600 samples of the US water supply. And we've also volunteered our lab efforts to Native American tribes who have been impacted by the EPA's poisoning of their rivers. So, by the way, it's not just blacks that are trying to be eliminated by the status quo. It's also Native Americans and other minority groups that are routinely targeted by not just the EPA, but other groups that we'll talk about here. I do want you to know that because I am an outspoken science whistleblower, that I am maliciously attacked, defamed, lied about. I am targeted for intimidation tactics. They try to silence my words. They try to make sure that you can't hear this talk. I've been death threatened. I've been stalked. I have to live a lifestyle of extreme secrecy. And I'm armed 24/7, including right now. And this is what it takes in our world today to tell the truth about science and medicine, especially when you are uncovering a mass agenda of genocide and eugenics, which is very prevalent through our systems of science and medicine today. So I do want all of you to know, all of you who are watching, and if you're sharing this with your friends and colleagues, I do want you to know that I'm putting myself at risk to say these things, especially as a credible scientist of an accredited laboratory facility, which has everything to do with the heavy metals poisoning that we're going to talk about. They absolutely don't want this information getting out. So let's start with something that we can all easily agree upon because it has been in the news everywhere, and that is the heavy metals poisoning of the predominantly black communities of Flint, Michigan. So no one says that's a conspiracy theory, right? The water supply for millions of citizens in that region, who again were predominantly black, was allowed to be deliberately poisoned with lead, a toxic heavy metal that causes bone disorders, but more importantly, it causes a kind of brain lobotomy. It causes loss of cognitive function. It reduces IQs. It causes heart problems and many other problems. This was deliberately allowed to poison the water supply of Flint, Michigan, knowing that that water supply served minority communities. And in fact, this was so deliberate and it was so criminal that the Attorney General of Michigan has so far filed at least 43 criminal charges against predominantly scientists and bureaucrats who ran teams of scientists water quality experts, and so on, many of whom have been charged with felony crimes. Now, water quality officials in Flint, Michigan were tasked with testing the water and making sure that it was, clean or safe to drink. And yet, every time they showed lead in the water, they covered it up. They ditched that sample, they deleted it from the spreadsheet, they replaced it with another sample from some other source. They committed massive scientific fraud, and they did this deliberately to cover up the fact that the African-American population of Flint, Michigan, or Detroit, greater Detroit, was being systematically poisoned.
Two coons right there.
This was going on year after year. And it could be going on now in other cities across the country. What we have found in our testing is that about 6.9% of the municipal water in America.
Oh, it gets even more crazier, my brother.
We published those numbers at naturalsciencejournal.org in a science paper that shows you the actual data.
And
it turns out that those areas that are most affected by these toxic heavy metals tend to be those with a predominantly larger population of African Americans. So it's the minority communities that are being impacted more so than, let's say, rich white communities. Getting back to the Flint, Michigan situation, we know that they knew about this and they failed to tell people. They covered it up and they allowed it to continue. They deliberately allowed millions of children and adults, senior citizens, who were predominantly black, to be poisoned with this toxic heavy metal. Would that have happened in a rich California white community?
Hell no.
I doubt it. I doubt it. In 2007, Chicago convened a breast cancer task force to try to figure out why so many black men and women were dying of cancer. For black women, it's mostly breast cancer. For black men, it's mostly prostate cancer. And across the cancer industry, every doctor will tell you that cancers are known to be far more severe in African-American patients than, let's say, Caucasian patients. But they don't understand why. And I'll tell you why. It's a very simple reason. It has everything to do with melanin in the skin. If you have darker skin pigmentation, because your ancestors came from a region closer to the equator, where sun exposure is more intense. And so the melanin in the skin is designed to block UV radiation. It's a built-in sunscreen. It's actually a feature. Black skin is a feature. It's a survival mechanism of those whose ancestors live near the equator. But it blocks vitamin D production at the same time. You see, because the ancestors, all of our ancestors, were outdoors people. They spent their time outdoors. They didn't live in offices. They didn't work indoors all day long. So they had too much sun. And so the dark skin pigmentation blocked the excessive sun, and it protected them from UV radiation.
Right, but
well, today we all live indoors.
Chicago, because the buildings tall and they're not getting the sun. But
indoor lifestyles, office jobs, even people who work in hospitals are working indoors. And when black people work indoors or live indoors, they become sunlight deficient, especially because of the melanin in their skin. So now that same feature of their skin that blocked excessive sun radiation in, let's say, Africa, now in New Jersey or New York, it's a detriment because it's causing African-American populations to become deficient in vitamin D. And this is what's happening in Chicago and Detroit, and especially the more northern latitudes of northern United States, Canada, and so on. Black men in the UK have very high rates of prostate cancer, and when they get diagnosed with prostate cancer, the prognosis is less positive than, let's say, a white person with prostate cancer. The cancers are more aggressive, they're more deadly. The answer is lack of vitamin D, and yet in 2007, this Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force convened, I think, over 100 doctors and nurses to try to have a powwow, a team effort to try to figure out why is cancer worse in black people in Chicago. And wouldn't you know it, after spending days or even weeks on this project, they couldn't come up with the truth. The truth that people with dark skin are sunlight deficient They're vitamin D deficient, and that's why the cancer is more aggressive, because vitamin D halts cancer.
You dropping so much
And
free
vitamin D
game.
can be purchased for a nickel a day. Every black person in Chicago, in Detroit, in New York, in the UK could
I thought he
prevent
was saying
cancer.
something else at first. It
About
sounded
4 out of
backwards.
5 cancers, by the way, with nothing but vitamin D. And yet the cancer industry
Because
won't
that's
tell them that.
exactly what happened to my
So
son-in-law.
here's a case where you have a disease that is disproportionately more aggressive in blacks versus whites. And white people, they absorb sunlight more efficiently when they're outdoors. So they need less time in the sun to generate the same amount of vitamin D as a black person who needs more time in the sun. And yet nobody is telling African Americans this simple truth. Nobody.
Take zinc.
This information is being denied the black community in America. And it's just, again, a very small part of the overall vector that I'm going to be continuing to reveal here. That is an effort
Zinc
to
is good for
exterminate
your body.
blacks.
Helps absorb all of antioxidants, vitamins, all that stuff. It just helps.
Yes, ma'am. You know I know. Yes, ma'am.
Now let's talk about the abortion industry. I'm not going to download politics on you about whether you think abortion should be legal or illegal in the 3rd trimester and legal in the other 2 or whatever. That's your deal. That's another day, another topic. My point is that abortion ends a life, and it ends certainly a potential life. And I say abortion ends a living human baby. Now, abortion centers are deliberately set up where? Predominantly black communities. Abortion messaging and abortion marketing is more aggressive toward black communities than it is white communities or non-black communities. The Planned Parenthood / abortion industry needs a steady supply of black women getting pregnant and wanting to terminate those pregnancies in order for them to be able to harvest tissue and organs from partial birth abortions, which are almost all black babies. Now, a partial birth abortion, in case you're not familiar with this, is when there's a baby that could be born and could be brought into this world, is capable of breathing and living. It's conscious. It has memories. It has sensory complexity. It has consciousness. It has feelings. And it's partially born. Let's say just the head is born. And then at that moment, the abortion center murders that baby. And then they harvest the organs. They will harvest the brainstem. They will harvest the lungs. They will harvest the kidneys. They will harvest the heart. And you know what they do with those tissues? Well, we're told to use them for medical
want to
research.
skip past this goddamn
Turns
part.
out most of those tissues are sold to vaccine manufacturers.
Sell to the
They use those
vaccine
tissues
companies.
to grow biomass for vaccine that are then injected into other children. And this is only admitted by the vaccine industry and the CDC. And on my website, Natural News, we have shown screenshots of the ingredients lists of these vaccines, such as chickenpox vaccines. Varicella uses human fetal tissue. And that human fetal tissue comes predominantly from black babies. So it's not just that the abortion centers are set up in predominantly black communities to reduce the population numbers of black children and future black adults, but it's also that those black children are having their organs harvested in order to make vaccines that are injected into other babies. There is a kind of racial medical cannibalism that is taking place in America today, and it combines the evil of the Planned Parenthood abortion industry and the vaccine industry, combines all that with an overlay of eugenics and genocide. And by the way, if you don't think that abortion is tied to a history of eugenics and genocide, you need to read the history of Margaret Sanger, one of the key founders of Planned Parenthood, who called black people human weeds, and she said that it's better to kill black babies in the womb so that they don't become adults. Now, I'm paraphrasing that. I don't know the exact quote, but it's something along those lines. She saw abortion as a key vector of exterminating the black population in our world, and that goal is being carried out today. And by the way, she was so effective with this narrative and with this obscene, twisted logic of genocide that the Nazis borrowed her narrative and her mindset and said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Let's apply it to the Jews. So Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich, their Holocaust against the Jews was modeled after the Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger eugenics genocide model that continues today in America. There is a Holocaust in America today, and it's a Holocaust that specifically targets Black Americans. And yet there is virtually no
Can you
outcry.
pause that, bro, for a quick
Now,
second?
in case you're having difficulty believing any of this, let's go to the news. Let's go to what's...
Okay, the flip side of that, let's just repeat what he just said so people hear what happened to Margaret Sanger set out to kill Black and exterminate Blacks, right? In turn, Adolf Hitler turned around and started exterminating the Jews. Keep in mind, Margaret Sanger was a Jew. Okay, go ahead, play, bro.
Exactly.
being widely
Well, they
reported
talk
about
about
medical
Adolf
experiments
Hitler. I just
targeting
want to say that.
African babies. All right? And you can find the article and the sources for this on naturalnews.com. Officials of Pfizer, a major drug company and vaccine manufacturer,
Basically, she
are
did that
under arrest
on people.
in Nigeria. And I'm going to read you a little bit here, and I apologize for the pronunciation here, but Judge Shehu Atiku in the city of Kano said that the Nigerian Pfizer head, Ngozi Idozian, and senior company officials from Pfizer, Laure Bale and Segun Donguro, failed to appear in court in compliance with a court order that's seeking a $2.6 billion fine from Pfizer, charging that the company illegally tested an experimental antibiotic known as Trovan on children in Kano during a meningitis outbreak in 1996. So you see, they use disease to test new drugs. And by the way, you'll find out the industry is spreading the disease in order to push the vaccines, and they always use Africans for their experiments. It's across the board.
And
Well, I'll give you more examples.
Not just over there. It's
This
here too.
illegal experiment on
If
African
they kill
children
them
led
off,
to the
you know,
deaths
they
of
think
11 children,
what they gonna do to us? Because they
and
destruct
dozens
the
of other
other
children
again.
experienced severe harm. Now, that shouldn't surprise anyone because it rings true with the history of the Tuskegee syphilis experiments. Those experiments conducted in the United States with the approval of U.S. health authorities and government authorities was begun in 1932, and there were over 600 volunteers who were exploited by the medical system. These are Black men predominantly. They were exploited by the system. They were told they were going to receive phenomenal care, that they were going to get extra money, that they were going to be treated well. Instead, they were denied treatment so that the medical establishment, again, these are scientists, so that they could observe the progression of this disease as Black men suffered and died. And this wasn't in Africa. This was on U.S. soil. This was in the 1930s. And this is one where they got caught, because there have been dozens of other examples of this kind of medical experimentation in the United States, which usually targets Black people, Black prisoners in particular. And we could talk about the prison industry and how it's a business. That's another topic. But once they get people into that prison system, they then use them for medical experiments, and they have done so routinely throughout American history. And if you think that the American government has gone out of its way to protect Blacks in America, you need to go back and reread your history. The FBI wrote a letter encouraging Martin Luther King Jr. to commit suicide. The FBI ran violent raids on Black civil rights groups throughout the 1960s and 70s. And to this day, the FBI runs domestic terrorism operations that they call sting operations, where the FBI sets up the plan, the FBI gets the fake bombs, the FBI acquires the vehicle, whatever the agenda calls for, they'll go after you. And in science and medicine, they're going after you right now. So let's continue. Let me give you more evidence, because I want you to judge this on the evidence. Now, and just as a quick side note, you notice how the recent Ebola outbreak, a couple years ago, happened in Africa. Now, I don't have proof of this, but there are many in the industry of the immunization industry, vaccine industry, holistic medicine industries who believe that those strains of Ebola were weaponized and were allowed to escape in certain African nations in order to assess the epidemiological impact and to test new drugs, and also as a false flag to push more funding for Ebola vaccines in the United States. And that nurse that was brought to Texas was allowed to come in and was allowed to spread Ebola to another person in Texas, which is what happened, so that they could call for more vaccines. They created panic. They create the outbreak
after he made
and
this
then they
video.
push billions of dollars of funding for more vaccines. In Africa, there are groups that provide vaccines to young African women. And these vaccines are often disguised as tetanus shots. And this is done usually in conjunction with UNICEF, the global group, UNICEF, and also Kiwanis International, which is supposed to be a community group across the United States and elsewhere. They have a project that they've used to give tetanus vaccines to Black women in Africa. The name of this project, and I kid you not, I'm not making this up, the name of the project is the Eliminate Project. The Eliminate Project. What are they eliminating? Turns out that various Catholic mission groups that are pro-vaccine and that have been administering these vaccines to young women across Africa sent some of these vaccines to laboratories for analysis of their composition. And there, they were shocked to find that a very high percentage of these vaccines are being laced with covert sterilization chemicals.
Were they shot? Do you think they were shot?
This is openly admitted. This, in fact, they blew the whistle on this. They went public with it. The U.S. media didn't report this. But outside the U.S., this is widely reported. In fact, we've covered it on Natural News. The Catholic bishops in Kenya, they actually urged the Kenyan Ministry of Health to block vaccines from UNICEF and the World Health Organization, because the World Health Organization approves
You see that message
of
so
covert
in the back
sterilization
chat?
vaccines.
Huh?
Isn't that interesting?
Let me know that's cool.
Where are these vaccines given?
Yeah, you
Are they
and Philly,
given
you know what I
in
mean?
Boulder, Colorado, which is predominantly white? No. No such covert sterilization chemicals in Boulder, Colorado. Are these vaccines found in Salt Lake City, Utah? Are they trying to eliminate Mormons? No. No such covert sterilization chemicals in Salt Lake City, Utah. Where are they found? They're found in vaccines given to young women in Mexico, Nicaragua, the Philippines, and Africa. So the covert sterilization chemicals just happen to show up in countries with either Black people or brown people. And these vaccines are all approved by the World Health Organization and other such groups that operate at the global level. Isn't that interesting? Do you think that's coincidence? Because I challenge you. If you think that's coincidence, you're not connecting the dots. A few years ago in the United States, a top scientist for the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, the vaccine pushing group in the government, top scientist named Dr. William Thompson, went public through a legal firm, posted an admission of guilt, said that he and his colleagues, while working at the CDC, had taken part in a massive scientific fraud, a cover-up, where they found a 340% higher risk of autism in young African-American boys under the age of 3 who were given these vaccines versus non-Black children. A 340% increased risk of autism. Now, those of you who are watching this, if you're part of the Black community, you know autism is an epidemic across Black communities in America today, right? You know that. How many young, and they're mostly boys, aren't they? Mostly boys. How many young Black boys have had their brains permanently damaged by the vaccine industry with the knowledge of the CDC, the knowledge that they are harming disproportionately black children, but not so many white children. Now, there are white children who are autistic, but the numbers for black children are disproportionately much higher, 340% higher. Now, the CDC knew about this. They had this information. They knew the results, and they chose to cover it up. And one of their scientists went public with it, blew the whistle. Now, the entire mainstream media in America, NPR, Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, everybody, they all covered it up. They all blacklisted the news. They decided not to report this altogether, which shows you, by the way, that they have no journalism. They are fake news. They don't do real investigations. They chose not to cover this. Actually, I happen to know they were ordered not to cover this. The CDC issues orders to the media, by the way. They order the media when to spread panic about outbreaks. They order the media when to not say something about dangers of vaccines. The CDC is a criminal operation. And just as a quick side note, a Democrat, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has now called for the extradition of a CDC vaccine science fraud artist who fled the country with millions of dollars in taxpayer money and has been hiding out in Europe. His name is Paul Thorson. And he worked with the CDC to fabricate fake vaccine safety studies.
Are they
and
hiding?
He's a fugitive from justice.
Splitting the money.
The CDC is a criminal organization. So they covered this up, knowing that it damaged black babies 340% more than white babies. Are you still telling me this is all coincidence? Really? What causes the damage in black children? Turns out that there are genetic differences between babies who come from predominantly African ancestry versus those of more European ancestry, and that those genetic differences offer various expressions of predisposition to clearing mercury from the body. And so many of these black babies, they can't clear mercury out as quickly as the white babies. And when they're all injected with mercury, which is what happens because thimerosal is a mercury preservative still used in vaccines given to pregnant women in America and given to children in America, the white babies can clear out the mercury very quickly and they suffer little or no damage most of the time. Black babies, the mercury continues to circulate in their bodies and brains for days or weeks, sometimes months. And they can be permanently harmed and brain damaged, and they can be made autistic, and it is happening every day in America. And the vaccine industry went to Congress several years ago and got absolute legal immunity granted to their entire industry for any vaccine listed on the childhood immunization schedule. So if you're a black mother, a black father, your child, perfectly healthy, normal, has a great future, and that child, let's say they're 2 years old, you take them in to get vaccinated because the doctor told you to vaccinate your children, right? You get that child vaccinated, sometimes 48 hours later, boom, that child's brain damaged for life, autistic for life. And you can't sue the manufacturer for their faulty product because Congress conspired with the vaccine companies to grant them all legal immunity. You can't even take your case to court. U.S. Supreme Court already ruled that. You can't take your case to a regular court. You have to go to a secret vaccine court run by the vaccine industry that denies almost all claims. And even then, by the way, even though they deny almost all claims, the vaccine court has paid out over $3 billion to victims of vaccine damage that were proven to have been damaged by vaccines. If the truth about this came out, and if families of autistic children, especially in the black community, were able to really take their cases to court and seek justice through the legal system, it would bankrupt the entire pharmaceutical industry, which is what should happen, by the way. The vaccine industry specifically allows damage to happen to black babies. And that's if they survive abortion. You know how hard it is to be conceived as a black child and make it through gestation and be born alive and not be murdered, and then to make it through the vaccines, and then to make it through the psychiatric medicine and everything else. It's incredibly difficult just to survive. And that is on purpose because the science and medical establishments are working deliberately to exterminate black people from this planet, to wipe you out from human civilization. They're doing it. It's happening right now. Now, continuing with the vaccine agenda to exterminate blacks from the world, you need to know something about polio and polio vaccines. There are two ways you can get polio. One is to catch it from a wild circulating polio virus. Second way is to get it from a polio vaccine. It's a well-known phenomenon. It's called vaccine-induced polio. Now, when they inject children with polio or they do nasal vaccines or other forms of vaccines, not all the vaccines are fully attenuated, which means weakened. They're not all fully weakened. Some of them have live viruses. So sometimes when they're giving vaccines to children in large numbers, some small percentage of those children are going to be infected with the disease, with polio. It's called vaccine-induced polio. Now, recently, 355 children were vaccinated in Syria, Middle Eastern country, right? 355,000 children vaccinated against polio. Why were they vaccinated? Because there was a polio outbreak. What caused the polio outbreak? Polio vaccine. This was a vaccine-induced polio outbreak that was then treated with more vaccines. Now, 355,000 children were then injected. If 1 out of 1,000 children it catches polio from a polio vaccine, then didn't they just create 355 more children with polio? Yes, they did. And that will be reported as an outbreak, and someone will call for the World Health Organization or UNICEF to come in and vaccinate, 1 million children, whatever it takes. You see, the vaccines are the continuation of the disease that they claim to stop. Now, if you understand epidemiology, statistics, science, and medicine, it is true that in a population, let's say you have 1 million children, and let's say polio is endemic. Let's say half the children in the country have polio. In that case, because the infection rate is so high, a polio vaccine can drastically bring down that infection rate and save far more lives than it would terminate because the rate of infection is so high. But that same vaccine, when the rate of infection is very low, if you give that vaccine to large numbers of children, hundreds of thousands or millions, you will create more disease than you halt. The same vaccine. It all has to do with how many children are currently infected versus how many you're actually vaccinating. If you vaccinate a lot of children who are not infected, you're going to cause infections, you're going to cause outbreaks. And this is what is used in Africa. This is what is used across the world to keep the disease process going so they can keep manufacturing vaccines, which are, remember, made from aborted black babies. We're talking human fetal cell tissue. They take it from the babies. They take it from the abortions. Planned Parenthood sells it to these companies. And they put it in large vats and they inoculate it with viral strains and they grow and fester a large amount of biomass of disease material. And then they homogenize that with tissue homogenizers. They filter that. They put it into vaccine vials with other ingredients that are toxic, like aluminum or squalene or mercury. And then they inject that into other kids. We are living in a world, people, wake up and understand this. We are living in a world where they are murdering and grinding up black babies to feed them to other babies. This is like the Matrix. This is medical cannibalism. It's actually happening every day.
Animals.
Many of these vaccines are made from human fetal tissue that's harvested from aborted black babies. And you know what? A lot of the doctors don't even know it. A lot of the pharmacists don't even know it because they've never read the ingredients of a vaccine. They don't even know. All you got to do is go to the CDC, read the ingredients, FDA website. It's all right there. It's all out in the open. But no one wants to believe it because it's too horrifying. It's too evil. A recent study funded by the CDC, literally run by the CDC.
Remember I was telling that dude that Philly? He said I was lying.
Vaccines cause spontaneous abortions. So they're pushing vaccines on the pregnant women, right? You've heard that recently? All pregnant women are encouraged to go out and get multiple vaccines, which never was taught in medicine until the last 20 years. Before that, doctors were told, no, you never vaccinate a pregnant woman. That could harm a child, the unborn baby. Now they're like, oh, you're pregnant? Get shot up with vaccines, take antidepressant drugs, take chemotherapy, just poison the crap out of your body. Don't worry, it doesn't affect the baby. But it does. Because these medical liars are genocidal, homicidal maniacs. They're deceiving you. They're lying to you. They know that vaccines cause spontaneous abortions. It's just been admitted by the CDC. Now, we've covered this study on naturalnews.com. I want you to go there and I want you to read it, and we link directly to the journal, and I think the journal is Vaccines, by the way, where this study was published. You can read it yourself. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's openly admitted by the CDC. Vaccines cause spontaneous abortions.
They have to put the truth out there. You just have to seek and ye shall find, knocking the doors open.
Let me give you a couple of websites before I get to the last and most shocking point in all of this. We've got 3 websites that you can check out where you can learn more about this every day. Okay, depopulation.news, genocide.news, and eugenics.news. These are all .news domains. But again, depopulation, genocide, and eugenics, all .news. Go there. There's going to be some overlap of articles there, but your eyes will be opened. You will come to see the truth about what's actually happening. And if you are Black or African American and you're listening to this, you need to know the truth about how you are being targeted for extermination. You and your children and your grandchildren and your parents, you are all being targeted for extermination. Now, to some extent, we are all being targeted in different ways because there is a depopulation agenda that wants to reduce the entire global population to about 1 billion people. But it seems from observing the way they're doing this, they sure do want to get rid of Black people first. And they're actively doing it. It's happening right now. It's right under your nose. Most people have no clue that it's going on. And you've got Black Lives Matter out there marching for social justice, completely oblivious to everything I've just said. Where's Black Lives Matter talking about the abortion industry or the vaccine industry or the psychiatric medication of young Black kids or the autism epidemic or the use of Black children for medical experiments? Black Lives Matter doesn't touch any of those things. They might bash some heads at some speech that they don't like. Maybe take down a couple of Nazis or some white supremacists. Bash some white hoods out there. They might have a little bit of success at that, but guess what? You're still being exterminated because it's in the food, it's in the medicine. The scientific community is working to exterminate you. Hey, your enemy is not even the Nazis and the white supremacists. It's the science,
the medicine,
it's the pharmacology, evildoers. It's the drug companies, it's the vaccine companies, it's the abortion providers. That's who's killing you. All right, in 1969, New York Times ran an article authored by Gladwin Hill. That's his name, Gladwin Hill. He's the author. You can look this up. The article is entitled, "A Sterility Drug in Food is Hinted." The article cited a scientist named Paul Ehrlich, who's a depopulation advocate, as well as the chief science advisor for then President Richard Nixon. And his name, the science advisor, is, Dr. Lee Dubridge. And he said, quote, listen to this quote very carefully. He said, quote, "Population control should be the prime task of every government." Here's how they were going to accomplish this. This is all in the New York Times in 1969. I've reprinted the article on naturalnews.com. If you want to see this, you can read it for yourself. You can convince yourself. I'm not making this up. This is all on the record, okay? He said, quote, "The addition of a temporary sterilant to staple foods or to the water supply would be the way to achieve mandatory infertility." Did you catch that? In 1969, they called for secretly inserting sterilization chemicals into the food supply and the water supply to depopulate the planet. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's in the New York Times, 1969. Same year we landed a man on the moon, right? Advanced technology. What do they want to do with it? They want to exterminate Blacks with it. Now, notice they called for adding this covert sterilization chemical to the food supply and the water supply. Well, what has happened since then? Lead poisoning in Flint, Michigan. It's a damaging chemical in the water supply, isn't it? It's right out of the playbook from 1969. This is part of the plan. And that's just one time they got caught. What about the tetanus vaccines in Africa that were found to be contaminated with a sterilization chemical? Same thing. They were going to hide it in the food and the water. Now they're putting it in the vaccines. It's all consistent. Oh, and by the way, that chemical that they found in the vaccines is called beta BCG. Beta BCG. Let me describe this to you, all right? Beta BCG causes the female body to have an immune system response that builds antibodies that destroy her own fetus if she gets pregnant. Do you realize that through this chemical that they secretly insert into the vaccines, they can cause a black woman's body to turn against itself and to murder its own baby in absolute violation of natural law and biblical principles and medical morality and everything else? And they were putting this sterilization chemical into these vaccines without the informed consent of the women who were being sterilized. This is evil medicine. This is evil science. This is genocide in the name of vaccines for public safety, right? That's what they tell you. Oh, this is all for public safety, while they're making an African woman's body murder her own baby before it can be born, and they don't tell her about it? That's medicine? That's public safety? That's a Holocaust. It's a Holocaust against blacks across our planet. Now you see why I have to speak this truth? You see why? Wasn't it Edmund Burke who said all that's necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing, right? I'm not going to stand here and be silent. I'm not going to stand here and be intimidated. Those people out there, you know, they can slander and they can defame me all they want, all day and night. Call me anything. Fake news, lies, fake accusations. The truth is that you people are genocidal maniacs trying to kill black babies and turn black women against their own babies. You're trying to turn a woman's womb into a murder system through the use of covert sterilization chemicals. That is a scientific and medical fact. And that's why I'm standing here today, to speak this truth, to put it on the record so that no one can hide from this fact that this genocide is taking place right now, today. It's not 1932 Tuskegee experiment anymore. It's more advanced now. It's not just one vector killing black people. It's 5 or 6 different vectors. It's in the food. It's in the vaccines. It's in the medicine. It's in the psychiatric drugs. Oh, and let's get to the food, because this is the final chapter of this that will absolutely shock you. Now, you're hopefully aware of genetic engineering of the food supply, right? They're called GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. This is an advanced science technique to alter the DNA of food crops in order to build in certain traits and physical properties or even chemical properties that the scientists want to put into the food. Now, I'm going to explain to you how your food is now being weaponized as an extermination vector to eliminate black lives. All right. Now, I'm a food scientist. I'm the author of Food Forensics. It achieved the #1 best-selling science book on Amazon.com. I'm the co-author of science papers that have been published in mainstream science journals. I'm not just a casual layperson when it comes to food science. I run a mass spec laboratory that's ISO accredited, validated, audited, inspected, passed many, many tests. Our data can be used in a court of law anywhere around the world. We do food analysis. We can search for complex molecules such as pesticides or elements such as mercury or cadmium. So I run the lab. I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers. Not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted, like bioweapons, to interfere with the physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to
Change your
GMOs.
DNA to
Relatively
RNA.
new. It's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides, because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from a nervous system breakdown and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this, because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in Black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology is widely covered. And they openly talk about how it can be used to target specific physiological processes of certain insect species. They can interfere with DNA repair or protein synthesis in insects. They can interfere with fertility or reproduction. They can interfere with mobility, a nervous system interaction with the musculoskeletal system, or depending on what animal we're talking about, other systems, endoskeleton systems. I ask you, does that technology exist? The answer is yes. It absolutely exists right now. Are they using that technology? I ask you, do a little bit of research, look at the plummeting sperm production in Black men. Sperm production is plummeting in Black men. Sperm production is precisely the kind of physiological process that can be targeted by RNA interference technology. Now, is that proof that the food crops are being engineered to cause sperm production to plummet in Black men? No, it's not proof. But when you connect the dots of all the other things that are being done covertly, this becomes something very likely in the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of advanced testing to find this out. And guess who controls the funding? Guess who controls nearly all the science funding in America today? The federal government. The same government that allows the CDC to cover up the truth about vaccines and Black children. The same government that funds Planned Parenthood abortions of Black babies. The same government that covers up the EPA-induced contamination of waterways affecting Native Americans and other populations, including the Flint, Michigan, predominantly Black population. This government, same government that runs the FBI, that won Martin Luther King Jr. to commit suicide. It's the same government. The government is at war with you. If you're Black and you're watching this, the government is at war with you, and they want you to exterminate it, and they control the science funding, which means there will never be money for any genetic science of the food supply to uncover this truth. If it were there, it would be covered up like everything else has been covered up this entire time. Just like the Tuskegee experiments covered things up in the 1930s. Nothing has changed, except the technology is more advanced. The covert technology is more covert. The number of vectors through which they can kill you and cause you to have no children, cause you to have spontaneous abortions, the number of vectors is increasing.
Hey, can you hear me,
We're
sister?
being targeted. And like I said earlier, to some extent, we're all being targeted. But Black people are being targeted more than anyone else.
What'd you say, Big Philly?
So what do we do with all this
Oh,
information? What do we do? Do you take to the streets and bash heads? No. It doesn't get you anywhere. The problem is the consolidation of power in the institutions of science and medicine. The problem is that science has been taken over by globalist agendas and depopulation agendas and government funding. The problem is that we don't have a decentralization of science. The problem is, if you will allow me to even invoke this terminology, the problem is that we are all slaves to science tyranny as it is being operated today. We're all slaves. We're living under a science dictatorship that refuses to tell us the truth and yet targets our brothers and sisters, our children, our grandchildren with extermination agendas through medicine, through food, like everything we've talked about. That's the problem. We need independent science. We need decentralization. We need more labs like my lab that I operate independently. We don't take any government money. That's why I can tell you this truth. You think if I were on the payroll of some big corporation that used government money, do you think I could stand here and tell you this truth? No way. Not a chance. It would yank your funding so fast, cover it up, sweep it under the rug. I can only stand here today because I have no financial ties to the system that's murdering all of you. Nor will I ever have financial ties to that system. I refuse to take money from satanic forces. I refuse to take money from murderous regimes. And that's what the United States government is today. It is a murderous regime, and it has been that way under President Obama, President Bush. It's beyond any single president. It has nothing to do with Trump. It's the bureaucracy, the momentum of genocide that is endemic in the culture of the CDC, in the culture of the FDA, in the culture of the EPA, that is beyond the reach of any one candidate or any one politician. And it has persisted for generations, and it continues to persist. And it will continue to target you and murder you and cause you disease and cause you brain damage and cause your children autism until the day comes that we, the people, decide to stand up and take back our liberty from this murderous regime that commits murder and genocide in the name of science and medicine. And that is what we must do. I don't think it's a goal that can be achieved through violence, and I don't call for violence because that is being inflicted against us in far too many ways. It must start with awareness. And so the only thing I ask of you watching this, listening to this, even if you don't believe every chapter of the talk here, maybe you find some of them hard to believe so far. The only thing I ask of you is share this information. Share this video. Share this talk. Have a public viewing in a church. Maybe you've got a black church somewhere. Invite your congregation to watch this if you dare. If you want to know the truth about this from a scientist, an independent scientist who sees what's happening and refuses to be silent and refuses to be exploited by the evil that exists in our world, the murderous evil in the name of science, stealing life away from black families and black mothers and pursuing a goal of global extermination. Understand that truth, and thank you for your time. Take care.
All right, brother. That was an awesome video. I hope you guys really took in all the information, pretty much confirming and showing y'all so much stuff that we talk about all the time. So, all right, guys. Wisdom had to step away for a minute. He'll be shutting this down in a minute. Um, it's not too much more to say about it. It is what it is. The video says itself. Share the video out. Make sure you send it to indoctrinated family members and people that may be privy to it, even little groups you're in, so on and so forth. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Have a good one.
Yo, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Netkonnek. You know what I mean? Checking out the movie. Don't forget to go check out the movie for the ones that didn't catch it from the beginning. It was called Black Girl. Y'all can go check it out on YouTube or whatever. It was just an old 70s movie. It was just a little game in it. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate everybody that came through, that watched the video. Shout out to Sister Soul. Shout out to the boy Big Dog Philly for dropping that heavy knowledge, that heavy information on the extermination plan. So y'all already know what it is. We ain't gonna act like it's a military secret, you know what I mean? So don't forget, y'all gotta make the moves to take to make things happen. You know what I mean? And so yeah, y'all already know it's your boy. Peace.